Hello. Hello. And welcome to free reviews with different taste. Or is it vulgar meets exquisite? Were we delivered a delicious steak? Or were we delivered shine sugar? That's what we're going to determine. But hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Steelchair for Triple the Review. Smackdown, Collision, Saturday night's main event. 3-in-1, big blockbuster. And I'm here to deliver, as I always do. What's up, Catherine? Good seeing you. And Maria. Not much. How are you? If anyone would like to join, let me know. I'll drop it in the chat. But in the meantime, like, share, subscribe. You guys know the score. It's not hard. And I don't really need to do much doing. We're going to do it. So, where do we start? Do we do an order? Or do we do a bit of a mashup? What are we thinking? You're damn right. Well, if anyone wants to join, yo, Fernando, what's cooking? Anyone wants to join, which is fine. I don't mind. Yeah, let's mash up. Let's mash up. Let's spin the wheel. Let's see. Let's shuffle them. And we are beginning with fair enough. Totally not cheating. Okay then, so we're actually going in title order. Well, that's a waste of time. Totally not a waste of time, so we're going to do this in title order. I've got more praise than anything else tonight. For most people. Not everybody, but most people. I've got a lot of praise. Some criticisms. As you do, that's normal. But not everybody's going to get shot down by me. Again, that's where the honesty comes in. Where are we at? What are you thinking? Even though I can't hear you.
I'm thinking I got 30 minutes to like you.
30 minutes to like me?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because then we're going to be on opposite sides for soccer. Fulham and Man U play today.
Ah, right. You're not wrong. Fulham are getting beat.
I actually thought main event was better than what I expected.
Fulham will lose.
Probably.
No, they will. Plain and simple. They just will.
Probably. I'm not going to deny that.
You've got no reason to. It's game over. Straight out the bat, it's game over. So we're starting with Smackdown. Okay, well, before we get into it, what did you think of Smackdown? What did you think of it?
I can't deal with this 3 hours. I really can't.
So let's disassociate the 3 hours and let's just go by what we at least got within that time scale that's actually watchable. You scored the breaks, which I agree, too many. The extra hour isn't necessary, but the actual show itself, what did you think?
It was okay. I was happy to see my boy Damian Priest.
Question for you, and you can say yes, you can say no. There's no. This isn't North Korea. Well, technically, this is my dictatorship, so it's a little bit like Vader's empire. But I'm going to be very, very honest. And you know me, when it comes to these shows, I always do my best to be as honest as I can and give a fair review on every product that I watch. This episode of SmackDown was miles better than last week's, in my opinion. Like, I actually think it was at least 10 times better. Like, it had a lot riding on it, and I think it actually delivered more than last week's did. I think last week's just didn't understand what it was meant to be. This week felt like a show, if you know what I mean.
It kind of felt like a go home show, like the Rumble was supposed to be last night.
Yeah, maybe it was a week too early,
Yeah.
but it still felt watchable for a change. Which makes me wonder, why have they done that more consistently? I think that's the bigger question.
Yeah.
Guys in the chat, same question. What did you make of last night's show? Again, if you disagree with me, that's completely fine. None of this show was cinema, because none of that bollocks applies. But truth be told, it felt good. There were some good segments here. I thought the matches were not too bad. I think, again, I'm going to have to say, 2 weeks in a row. What's up, Fletch? Good seeing you, my boy. I'm going to say back-to-back shows on SmackDown. The best three performing talents, Kevin Owens, Rhea Ripley, and again, Jacob Fatu. I think, again, they're established. And you can see that these three are what you want to build SmackDown around. I think it's time that Rhea Ripley takes SmackDown. And I think Stratton needs to go to Raw. It just seems inevitable for me. You know? I think that's the reality of it. We'll get to Collision, but I thought Collision was not so bad.
Yeah, but would you put a green Tiffany Stratton on your main show and then put your star on your B show? I don't think Netflix will go for that.
I think they will, because they'll ask for it. There were hints about a new member. Yes, it's not Okada.
It's definitely not Okada, but I got some thoughts on that.
So do I.
Let's see if we're thinking the same people.
There's only one person I'm thinking of. And it would be sheer fuckery on the highest level of who I'm thinking of. Put it that way. It shouldn't be Okada. Even though Kenny Omega's involved, it shouldn't be Kazuchika Okada. It goes against his whole purpose. But who is it? You'll find out. You will find out very, very soon. I'm going to say you'll find out on Dynamite. You'll find out when Brian Cage beats Ospreay. Oh, I said Cage beats Ospreay. There's one in your ticket. But yeah, I will say this. When you look at the whole show in general, it does start, give or take, the way you would want it to be. Obviously, Joe Tosatore loves to welcome people to the show. I've got no issue with that. There's no energy during the introduction for a change. It was just a straight up welcome to the show, and we're just going to get straight to the action, which I think is much better. That's how they should open the shows. It goes straight to Pretty Deadly versus Motor City Machine Guns. I said last week I didn't like the interruption in the match. This was fast paced to the letter, and there was no flaming interference for a change. It was just a straight up who's the better team. Again, the number one contenders win, but in general, what did you make of the match? I thought it was much better than last week. It seemed to go at the pace of the veterans are leading the match, as they should. And they allowed Pretty Deadly to at least get a bit of momentum in there, and they still stole it from them.
Mm-hmm.
It can get better, logically speaking, and it should get better if they invest in it. But this tag match also highlighted one major concern for me that comes throughout the show. And that is they're focusing more on this tag team division than they are the mid card. They're actually disassociating now in the worst way. Like they're paying attention to one, they're not paying attention to both. That's what this tag match gave me.
That seems to be an issue throughout wrestling in general, though. They'll pick one certain thing to focus on and kind of disregard everything else. And I'm not sure if that's just because fans only have a one-track mind where they can only comprehend one thing at a time. I mean, you got 3 hours of TV. You could focus on more than just your tag division and your world champion.
I'm getting over something. Let me know where you are. We're just talking the opening of Smackdown at the minute, like the opening match. If you want to join us, Matt, you're welcome to join. Fletch, if you want to join, anyone in the chat that wants to join us, come on in. You're more than welcome. I do have some updates as well for everybody. If I told you that the Rumble preview next week could have 6 people on the show at once, I won't be lying.
Nice.
Because I'm going to put it here right now. All things standing. Next week, the Royal Rumble preview, which will be on the Saturday, because I always do it on the same day of the show. You've got, obviously, the greatest thing since sliced bread. You've got me hosting the damn thing. Matthew's going to be on there. My buddy Keen. Ailey's back.
Yay! I've missed her so much.
So have I. She's been busy with work and it's just not helped with the schedule, but yeah, we'll get to that. My buddy Nathan, who also watches here as well. So that's already 5. We might get another one, so it could end up being more, but the 6th person on my side, she's more than welcome. We got to diversify. But there's only one alpha male, obviously, on this podcast.
You have to have more than one lady on the show now.
Well, as long as they ask. You got to ask. Nah, I'm saying anybody who wants to come on can absolutely come on, because we're all going to have a laugh.
Are you sure you want me on the same show with Ellie? With Ellie debating WWE product.
Oh, hold on a minute. Is that just for you? See for that? Right, that's it. I've had enough. Where's my Twitter?
Uh-oh.
Big man, good to see you. How are you?
We're getting ready to have a Smackdown on Reese's show between Warner and Reece over Deonna Purrazzo. May the best man win.
To be fair, and I say this truthfully, he is incredible. He's an incredible content creator. So more than welcome. Thanks for joining. I know, but to be fair, it's people that want to join. And I don't have a lot of way of splitting them up. So plus I get to see who wins a fight. It could end up being 4, could end up being 5, but I'm happy either way. So that's what I'm looking for. Ah, yeah, that's it. There we go. 1 minute. Hold that.
Hurting his feelings.
Nah, I like Big Dub. He's a good guy, and I've been catching up on their content because, honestly, God, see the late shows. I've been exhausted by them. I'm not even joking. Just the over saturation of time. I've been exhausted. Mm-hmm. They're all welcome to join. I might end up. What I could do is I can have people in and out of the show, and just like, well, not exactly like Saturday Night's Main Event where I bring in an old timer and they just sit about for 40 minutes and claim that the referee is county free, when clearly didn't he? But we can certainly have something like that. You're more than welcome at any time to come on here as well. So I'm actually grateful. If next time you are doing a show, I'll actually be there as well because
the trees are calling. Big Dub's got to go.
It's not Britt Baker anyway. If I hear any detail,
I wonder if he named one of his trees Britt Baker.
Well, he'll chop it down and he'll put teeth on it. And
one Zoe Stark, one Piper Niven, one Deonna Purrazzo.
I think if he's a real one, and I know he is, guarantee he'll have one with Trish Stratus' name on it. I would absolutely call one of mine Bull Nakano. For me, the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Simple. But I think now I get you, man. Any hate, if I hear any hate detail about Toni Storm last week from the WWE Crybabies, I'll die. I'm gonna say now that
there was some on Twitter. There was some on Twitter last night.
I haven't seen any, but I actually rated the segment because I liked the fact that it was exactly what we called last week. If you remember the review we did last week when we said, well, I bet it's going to get physical and she'll just remember. Instantly, she's pulled it off. The makeup is off. The clothes have been ripped off, figuratively.
The facade is gone.
Exactly, and it works. Fletcher's saying, just saw a clip of Cody hugging Jay after the match last night. Is Cody Rhodes officially the WWE therapist?
Well, I mean, he is the official WWE resident politician.
Well, he's the so-called face of the company, but if he's meant to be the therapist, then what's the diagnosis? Because I would be running from him. Yeah, that was finally, because I've been critical about Mariah May for a little while, and it's purely because I think it could have done a little bit better, but that was what she's been asking for. She got shat on by Busted Open, which doesn't help. Busted Open are stupid, and Catherine knows this, even though she listens to them. But
I listen to them because I like a wide perspective of opinions to form my opinion.
Which is fair. When you look at the interview, she said that she wanted to get more than just backstage segments. She wanted to get more in the ring. She wanted to get more promos in the ring. She got that last night, and she definitely delivered. So I'm actually really glad for her in that way. She got that opportunity. She needed that, and we'll certainly come to that when we review Collision. It is, since Cody Rhodes actually does, to be fair, he does get a segment in the show. I'll answer this question from Fletch. Don't apologise. Say whatever the heck you want. Is Cody Rhodes the most boring title reign of the modern era? Well, it depends. When do you claim that the modern era started? Wait, when does this whole modern era actually officially... When did it officially start? Because I think in terms of boring aspects, yes, it actually does, but it's not just that, because see, if you look at it as well, it rivals Bayley, because her reign really wasn't given any chance to breathe and grow, and it took away from her any level of believability of her as a champion. So you could say her as well, not to deflect, but you could say the worst, like the most boring singles title reign for a male Cody Rhodes, absolutely. Woman, Bayley, because Nia Jax, in my opinion, completely outshined her. It looked more genuine from Nia Jax. I wonder why, but it might have just been that they just believed in. Yeah, he does create new eras every week. It's actually quite embarrassing. We're on the ticket tout era now, as I call it. But yeah, so we said that this week's opening match from the Motorcycle Machine Guns and Pretty Deadly was slightly better than last week. Again, it is honest. I'm not taking away from any shape or form, but we did say that it was better. But it does highlight the key fabricated issue that they're focusing less on multiple divisions and they're focusing purely on one, and they're not actually allowing the divisions to properly be booked. And I did tweet this, saying that they need somebody who's going to be sole responsible for the mid-card division, because it doesn't look like they're actually bothering with it. I would suggest maybe Bobby Roode. Give him the mantle, because at least he knows how to be a champion in the mid-card division as well as a main eventer. What about yourself? Would you agree with that, or would you disagree? Is there anyone else you'd suggest?
I would agree with that.
But why do you think they're not
if
paying attention
Nakamura
to
is your U.S. champion, when's the last time we've physically seen him in the ring?
He was competing last week, though. I'm pretty sure.
Did he compete last week?
I'm pretty sure he was in the ring last week, yeah.
Well, then it was so boring I forgot.
It wasn't Santos, but he was in the ring last week.
I thought they just did a video package.
I'm sure he was in the ring last week. Let me just get back up to last week's SmackDown. 2 seconds. Unless he was. All right, here he's turned up as well. The Chief Bald Man of North Carolina.
What's up?
What's happening, Phil? A better bald man than Tully Blanchard, actually. Not to be fair, I like Tully Blanchard.
Yeah, Tully gives bald people a bad name.
He's just a great lesbian. I've got a lot of
weird. Yeah, he is a great lesbian. I got you.
Is he swinging that way now? I don't know.
I'm on a roll today. I'm a lesbian too. I dig chicks myself. I don't know about you.
I only go one way, and that's definitely the chicks.
Mm-hmm.
Forbes. Ooh. No. I was just reading.
I don't know if you want me on here today. I'm in a bomb dropping mood.
You can say what you like. I do have something that might interest.
Wait a minute, Reece. Before you continue, me and Matthew have an idea for you.
Okay. What's that?
You need to cover MLW.
Hell yeah, man.
I mean, I plan to do more Rev Pro because my mate works for Rev Pro. So, yeah, I was going to do that. MLW, sure.
Hey.
We stayed up and watched the pay-per-view last night. It was pretty good, wasn't it, Matthew?
It was okay, except for the spots that were stupid. But, I mean, you expect stupid at an indie show.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they come up with some cool shit, but they got to balance it out with some dumb shit, so it can still be an indie show. But it is what it is. That's part of why I'm tired. And the reason I was late getting in today is because I actually had some bad food last night, and I'm still getting over it. So
bad shrimp.
No, actually, bad hamburger helper, which never happens. Ooh. But hey, it is what it is.
Agreed.
But, which match are we on right now?
So we've just reviewed we were just going through the opening tag match of Motorcycle Machine Guns versus Pretty Deadly, but I actually have something specifically for you guys. You guys know my take on this. I don't care, but this is quite an interesting one. So big dub, if you're still watching, this is for you and Darrow as well, or Mr. Starks, as we all know. The 3 Januaries so far, because last night's hasn't come out yet. January 3rd, 1.528 million. The 10th of January, 1.436 million. Last week's was 1.403. That's 125,000 drop in the space of 3 weeks. Now, again, I don't care about ratings. I'm just letting you know that that's from Forbes.
Mm-hmm.
Although it depends on the name you take from it, but it's Alfred Kanua. But
Cheesehead.
I already
broke the math down for Netflix. Everybody thought I was on drugs, but I used to work in cable, so I can probably figure out just the basic stuff on these quote unquote views.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Masha beat Megan Bain. I don't think.
No, it was a draw. It was a draw. They did a fuck finish on it, so everybody be protected because.
Well, you can't screw a champion over. To be fair, and you can't let Megan Bain fall over as well. You got to keep it level.
The cat is out of the bag, though. The cat is out of the bag. Everybody knows that Megan Bain's been under contract with AEW for a long time. And will continue to be under contract with AEW for at least a couple more years, hopefully for the rest of her career. But you could not send WWE-backed Masa Slamovich to go lose to Megan Bain. It wasn't going to happen. And
I don't think they're fully behind Masha anyway. It's just TNA. I think they've got their other ideas, which is quite sus.
No, I'm just saying anything's got WWE's name attached to it. Tony Khan probably put his foot down and said, look, she can run the match, but it's going to be a fuck finish. I don't want her pinned. And of course, TNA's like, well, you're not going to pin our champion. So they
that's the only thing that is true. She is the hog champion. I think they could have got away with it. See, the thing is, though, is like one thing that would have been for sure. Masha would have done business.
Mm-hmm.
Masha would have. She's actually like that everywhere she goes. Like
I know. I met her.
So like before she took the title during her title run, if she's asked to be, if talent comes out and says I want to go over in this way, she'll be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean she would, but I think that came down to between the bookers. I really did. I think the bookers were. Probably. I think Tony and whoever books TNA and Paul were like the TNA and Paul's like we ain't losing. Tony's like we ain't losing. So Brett Lauderdale's like, okay, here's your fuck finish. That way nobody loses. Okay.
There's also a possibility it may have just been Brett's call because Triple, as people like to call him, Triple Beak has no say on TNA creative, which I'm actually quite lucky by.
At least according to the news, he has no say. Now, we can argue this till we're blue in the face. TKO owns 25% right now of TNA.
TKO owns it. But not creative. That's Anthems. They're not letting that go. They won't let that go. This is true, though. Like, Omos has a band in Japan. And it's 100% not visa related. He was recalled because he was getting over.
Yeah, we can't have that happen.
It was a bad call. He just handed the title over. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah. He shouldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, but to that tag match, the Pretty Zesty versus the Detroit Water Pistols, could they have indicated any more in that match than they did? Is it possible they could have indicated any more? I mean, they could have put a little bit more effort into it. But the reality of it is I was really seriously going to wait until Collision popped up to even get in this thing, because if you guys are asking me to talk very positive about WWE, I ain't your guy. So
no one said that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it.
This is only like these 3 shows that we're reviewing. It's simply put, it's honest. It's not bullshit.
Yeah,
that's why I said like this match felt better than the last week's one, because there was no interference. There were still elements where it could be better, but my biggest highlight was it's ignoring one division in favor of one other, which is why I suggest they need to put someone in charge of these divisions.
I think a hilarious part of it is the virtue signaling they're doing with the Pretty Zesty thing with the dude that actually has chest hair now. Because, one of the Dax Hardwood digs is at least we don't have to shave to work at AEW, and I think that you know, the mushroom chest hair thing has got to be a work. That's just all I got to say. Because somebody showed a picture of Zesty when they broke out of NXT, and they were all nice and shaved and oiled down and just, looking like WWE superstars. So I'm just saying though, because that was one of the things Dax dropped out about going to AEW was the big thing is they didn't have to shave their backs and crap like that, so they could work a WWE program. And here comes Zesty out there with a mushroom chest, and that by itself, God bless, make this shit stop. Okay, I mean I'm dead serious, but that people like them, and I know they have a following in the same vein that I know Orange Cassidy has a following.
Nah, there's only one following these guys have a similarity to, and it's disgusting. It's these two. It's these two hobos.
I don't know which two hobos. It looks small
You
to me.
You leave MXN Collection alone.
No, they suck. They absolutely suck.
Those guys, yeah, the ones that if they had a gimmick they could really get over.
There's nothing they can do. Do you think Alexa Bliss can say me? She's not going to AEW. She's coming back to WWE.
I don't know about that. You better hold your britches on that one. I don't know. They're stirring.
I think there's definitely some issues behind the scenes where she just wants to get more guaranteed days off, which I don't blame her. She's got a young child. I don't think she's leaving WWE though. I just get that impression that she's a WWE lifer. You know what I mean?
I thought that too, except that I'm not the guy. I'm not even talking about the Instagram post or anything like that.
I quite liked that as well because it gave me a good idea for her. Gimmick-wise.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not talking about the Instagram post. I'm talking about just basics here, and I'm pretty sure that Catherine could sign off on this here pretty easily. If somebody starts messing with your raising your children thing, I think that's where some people draw the line, and she's got to be looking over at Will Ospreay that they fly across the damn pond.
I would say so. I like this middle spot. I like this middle spot. This prefers me.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying she's got to be looking at things like Ospreay coming across the pond to wrestle and then going back home, and Tony Khan picking up the flights for it and the whole 9 yards. She's got to be looking at stuff like that and saying, I mean, seriously.
And giving you time off whenever you need it for family obligations.
Exactly.
I mean, like Okada was gone for almost a month when his wife just had a baby.
Yeah.
I think personally, it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be I don't think it'd be the dictating of her child that would make her leave. I go back to a different incident that I found to be very, very shocking.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Smackdown or was it the Raw? It was a tribute show for Wyndham Rotunda. Yeah. They said they were going to fly her out by private jet, and it didn't happen. To get her there for the show.
Yeah, they snubbed her. They snubbed her for that. And that's part and parcel to it too. She asked for more money, asked for a better schedule, and
as far as I'm aware, she hasn't asked for more money. She's asked for it. It's just in her contract. She just wants dates. As far as I've heard or seen.
No, actually, she asked for a little more money too because her contract.
She asked for more money.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that nobody pays attention to here. How much? Quick question: do either one of y'all know how much Rhea Ripley was making before her contract was renewed?
About $400,000.
No.
About $1 million.
No, not even close.
Was it less than that?
She's making $250,000 a year.
I heard that was the baseline number for WWE.
Yeah, she was making the base, and she was a top star. And I've got to assume that since Alexa Bliss isn't Charlotte Flair, that she was probably in the same bracket.
She's still the same. She's on $250,000 a year. This is according to two sources. Two sources saying she's on 250. That's shocking.
Yeah, $250,000 a year. Swerve Strickland's contract by itself is a little closer to $4 million. Mercedes Moné is close to $6 million.
Bianca Belair's 550,000.
Yeah, I mean, that's obscene money. I get it, but nobody's really released what Rhea's new contract is about, but it's supposed to be triple that plus merch. So she's supposed. So
she's a top star. She should be on more money.
Yeah, she gets a better merch cut too. Her merch cut, I think, is 60%, something to that range. So they upped her merch cut to like 60% as opposed to 50. And so that worked out pretty well. But I mean, like Alexa Bliss was pulling 20% merch sales and 250,000 a year. So yeah, I mean, she's got plenty of titles. She's carried plenty of programs. It just makes perfect sense to, I don't know, pay her what she's worth.
They probably also told her creative she's had to put Liv Morgan over.
Yeah, and that's probably,
she probably was like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Exactly. She'd be like, fuck this shit. No, y'all can go to hell with that. All the way to hell.
Or have to put Tiffany over.
Oh God, if I had to put fun bags over, I'd be really pissed. I mean, I'm dead serious. I mean, that would right now, and that's not to take anything away from Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton's training was literally done in the exact same place, in the exact same manner as Ric Flair, many of the greats. Same buildings, same barns, same everything. So anybody that gets out of that dungeon, I give them the same props as I give them if they get out of the Heart dungeon.
Who trained her? Was it
Greg Gagne?
Gagne? Yes.
Yeah, Gagne.
He was on Busted Open talking about her. When she originally first showed up to train, she didn't really want to be there. Like, she just had the attitude, like, you're just going to make me a star and I ain't got to do nothing. And he basically told her, get your ass out of my gym.
Exactly.
And if you really want this, come back and we'll train.
Exactly. She trained under Greg Gagne, which Ric Flair trained under Vern Gagne.
I know who I would rather get trained by, but if it ever happened, but Greg's in my he's in my top 3 for trainers. The other one would have been Lou Fez. Obviously, he's no longer an option, but like he would have been one of mine. And easily, I would have said maybe Killer Kowalski.
Killer Kowalski would have been the trainer for me if he were still alive. But you know what? All is not lost. That brings up another thing. Since Daryl didn't bring it up Friday, since apparently he's going to leave it alone, guess what you can do now if you want to be a professional wrestler?
Take drugs.
No, you can go see Donovan Dijak and take his DeVry course on how to be a wrestler. He's doing online wrestling school, not in a building. This is going to work out great, said no one ever.
That's not learning the business. That's like, oh, I want to learn a new job. Here, you can learn it on Teams.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Now we're going to have a whole group of wrestlers that come out that learned online. This is going to be fantastic. We think it's shit now. You ain't seen nothing yet, baby.
That is genuinely terrifying, because imagine this: you want to learn how to use a pile driver properly, you want to learn how to do a punch properly.
Oh yeah, for those you've got to go the extra mile and go find a school where somebody's willing to let Dijak criticize the way they teach you.
As far as I'm aware,
let that sink in for just a second.
I would like to learn in the New Japan dojo, to be fair. Tell you what is becoming very popular right now in certain states. Ken Anderson's wrestling school is getting very popular.
Oh, dear God.
At least it's somebody who actually has went, like, I'm not sending you somewhere that makes no sense. Like, he actually just wants to train and then lets them go. The Heart Dungeon would have been the best place to learn in general, but because at least you've got somebody who doesn't lie to your face. You've got Bret Hart.
Yep, there you go. But no, it's as far as that match went, as far as the tag match went, I could have dealt without it, and I understand what they're trying to do.
It is actually, at least for once, unlike last week, at least this one's actually following a story. Like, it's actually the story of the tag team title match, which, God forbid, it's took them this long to put the titles back on a pay-per-view. Because I'm not calling it a PLE. That just sounds uber shit.
Yep. Yeah. It's
But you're telling me you can't have any of your tag team titles on a pay-per-view in nearly a year? I'm sorry, but that's genuinely insulting to tag team wrestling fans. I mean, I was annoyed for a long time that the Intercontinental title didn't even get on a pay-per-view, but this really annoyed me.
I thought that was the whole purpose of pay-per-views, was to have your titles on there.
Yeah, well, they should do a whole lot better. When we get to reviewing Collision, I will tell you who I think joins the Don Callis family, but I repeat, it's not Kazuchika Okada.
No. Okada ain't it.
But I do have a strong name that's very interesting. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it's not Max Caster. I have complete ethical moral in the sense that I will never choose that clown. Can't wait to absolutely rip into his fucking segment and all. Anyway, moving on. I also wanted to re-up one thing about Cody Rhodes because he wanted to put Kevin Owens over in his interview. He called Kevin Owens a once-in-a-generation talent.
Okay.
Well, he's a once-in-a-generation talent for picking clothing. I'll give him that. Because he seems to be getting that very well, but nothing else. Up next, we get another tag match. Women this time. We get B-Cup and Michin versus the only talent on SmackDown, Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven, who is more interested in arguing with Bully Ray on social media. But then again, Scottish, I got to give her a little bit of credit, I suppose. But Chelsea Green in action again. It's good to see her getting a lot more time. She's the only highlight of this match, let's be real. Michin she looked lost. This is the only time where she's looked lost in quite a while. But what did you think of this one, folks? I didn't think it was overly great, except Chelsea Green whenever she was involved.
Hang on,
tell me, why are you letting your U.S. Women's Champion get pinned?
Honestly, it's the same question I've got about the women's fatal four-way on Collision, which I'm going to ask a lot of questions about as well. But that's right. Michin did pin Chelsea Green.
Well, they got to set up for that U.S. title match, part 3, which will set up for part 27, which will set up for part 55 next year this time.
But how many times have they fought, regardless if either one of them had a title? This is like the 5th time they fought. Highlight. I don't need to see them fighting again. Chelsea needs a new opponent. Unfortunately, the same happened to Chelsea as happened to Rhea on Raw. They don't have a credible person built up to take the U.S. title off of Chelsea when they decide to take it away from her.
I think building credibility and making credibility, but also choosing someone that's credible is becoming harder these days in any promotion. It's becoming very hard. Fletcher's actually said, newsflash, Adam Fallen Angel Pierce. Please don't do Christopher Daniels like that. That's cold. Drew McIntyre once again will face Sami Zayn on Raw. Matthew, I know I'm thinking the words, but what are you thinking on this? I think this is ridiculous.
Oh hell, let's you know what? Let's just keep on going with this theme here. They've got a few go-to matches that they present in different spots in different ways and different. This is one of them. I mean, WWE has almost reduced it to so much creative bankruptcy that you're basically down to 5 or 6 matches, and that's just what the hell you're going to see. Give us $25,000 for your front row seat. We'll give you what we want you to eat, and if you yell loud enough, give us $50,000 for WrestleMania, and maybe we'll give you what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say that about the women's division with Chelsea Green. You're going to wind up with this mention thing going on, or Mia Yim, as I call her.
I prefer Miriam. I don't understand why she's called Meech in the first
Well,
place.
it's something she claims is something personal to her. Apparently, Triple H held a gun to her head and made her tell everybody she likes it. But the reality of it is they have no stars. They have Braun Breaker, who's actually making something out of himself.
He finally got some action.
Yeah, you have Chelsea Green, who can carry that. I said it the other night. You could give her any gimmick whatsoever, and she'll come back with it looking like a shiny new dime.
Well, you know what? You know what? I actually think Chelsea Green is the face of the women's division on Raw over Tiffany Stratton.
Easily. She's more recognizable. She's more personable.
And Chelsea should be your world women's champion over Tiffany.
Easily. But the problem is they don't have it. This is the thing that kills me about WWE fans in general. I mean, I know AEW's got booking problems, and I know they've got star issues, and they've got certain things that are out of balance, but they're getting back to it. I get it. But WWE fans are just brain dead to this fact that all you're going to get is a bunch of flying Samoans like Cirque du Soleil, whatever the hell I can speak. That's what you're going to get for the men's side. And on the women's side, you're going to get fun bags with some gold. You're going to get haw with the other, and that's it. It's all they've got.
Please don't ever give that blonde bimbo a mic again. And by blonde bimbo, I mean Liv Morgan.
I'm just saying, this is what you've reduced yourself down to. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why Rhea resigned. And it ain't the money. It can't be the money. The money wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't say she was forced either. I think maybe she thought that, and this happens, to be fair, this has happened for a long time for talent, so it is a fair thing to say. There is a chance that maybe she thought wherever she goes, she may not be as booked as strongly as she has been. Which, to be fair, is a viable thing for talent.
We've run out of strong booking for her now. She just destroyed Nia Jax. That's the last thing left. Now, if you want anybody to feasibly believe that when Charlotte comes back and when Becky comes back, now I'm not a big fan of Nia Jax, but let's face it, she's a big, strong, angry woman.
Exactly.
And if that can't do it to Rhea, they're going to have a perception problem. They're going to have a serious perception problem when those two ladies come back. Because if all of a sudden Rhea starts losing to them, which is what will eventually happen, then you've got all this body of work to look back on and go, what was it all for?
I think their aiming were purely not Liv. Rhea can't be beaten by someone who's generally as strong as her or in that element. I think they're going to be someone who can out wrestle her. But I think the reality of it is there's rumors going that Rhea versus Bianca is rumored for WrestleMania this year. I have no issue with that whatsoever. But for me, the reality of it is I don't think you can have that match without the inclusion of Io Sky. I think she's another one who deserves to be in that bracket. I don't think you can just do Bianca versus Rhea, even though it's actually a moneymaker. I think Io Sky has to be in there because she's carried workers for the past year. She deserves that opportunity. Again,
deserves. He said deserves. He said deserves.
Will you tell me
WWE and like Triple H is sitting there going, "Hey, Io."
That's the only thing. That's the only thing. He would know what the word deserves means in his entire life anyway, because everything was handed to him.
We know you've been carrying the whole division, but we just need you to wait on Becky. How's that?
Waiting for the ginger. She's gonna plant you.
Yeah, she's gonna
And then we could have
plant you.
Becky and
Yeah.
Lyra team up and face you and Dakota Kai for the next year and a half.
That's another one God, that basketball bounced higher than the Empire State Building.
I don't know. King Kong seemed better, but I suppose we can get to that one at some point.
Nah, the money on the IC title would have been on Natalya, and that will for the rest of my life be the biggest drop ball in WWE history. That will always be the biggest drop ball for one of Becky's favorites. Give me a damn break.
That or Shayna, but I would also say another one is a mad miss, but it still holds strong for me. How far back am I talking here? Oh yeah, 100%. The WWE's biggest miss of all time, 100%, is not having Mr. Perfect beat Hulk Hogan in 1990.
That would have been a pretty big miss too. That to my opinion is a big miss. I rank them all equal. A miss is a miss. Yeah. You know, I don't really put them, but I mean, for that particular moment and that particular nostalgia, if you were going to put it on a former champion, they should have put it on Natalya. Either that or put it on a non-champion like they did with the U.S. title. See, Chelsea hadn't had a title yet. So putting the U.S. title on her made sense.
I was just looking and I'm thinking the only three that really, in my mind, the whole time that mattered was Shayna, Dakota, or Natalya.
Mm-hmm.
They're the three that I picked. I had pretty much established. The rest of them was like, no.
They're not going to invest in Dakota Kai. Sorry for all you fans out there, but
I agree.
They're not going to invest in her. They're not going to invest in Shayna Baszler. They're not going to invest in Zoe Stark. They're not.
Oh, they've ruined Shayna now. Like, she went from being a killer to someone who teams up with a lesbian who can't wrestle.
Exactly. And then like Zoe Stark gets out and pulls off that springboard move, which means obviously she can do cool stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't capitalize on it. There was absolutely zero difference between her springboard and Ricochet and Logan Paul. The only difference is biology. That was the only difference between those two.
Huge. And speaking of making a big deal out of things, why is Wade Barrett staring at B-Fab's legs? Because that was a weird comment on commentary when he said he actually made a massive deal out of how long her legs are. And I'm like, I don't care. They're no Stacy Keibler.
No, they're not Stacy Keibler.
But
maybe he swings that way. Who knows?
It's just a weird obsession.
Yeah, maybe that's his thing. Some people like feet, some people like toes. Maybe he just likes long legs.
Not against that. Long legs are. I mean, I'm a giant. Long legs work.
Yeah. I don't get lost in the sauce, though. I can tell you that much. So
you shouldn't need to. I don't think Toni Storm dethrones Mariah. Well, wait till you find out Grand Slam. That'll be the exact opposite. The five of us, you'll be surprised. I know you've mentioned Trent Beretta. There's actually a funny shout, but it's not Trent.
Yeah, lots of people are leaning towards Trent Beretta. We'll get to that part here. What's the next matchup?
So obviously the next thing we get is the video package for Strowman versus Jacob Fatu for Saturday's main event. I pretty much didn't find it to be a loss anyway. I saw that one coming. And then we get obviously Aldis confirms that Priest is going to be the opponent for Carmelo Hayes, the vanilla midget. We get that. The next match is 6-woman tag, Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, and Catherine's favorite versus Rhea, Naomi, and Belair. This all started again from Tiffany Stratton promo. Again, this is back-to-back weeks, which says a lot.
And now for all you women who were screaming, why don't they devote time to the women declaring, we got you covered. Like 95 fucking women declared for the Royal Rumble and there's only 30 spots.
Exactly.
You got retired.
Cares?
You got retired vets. I just saw a post from Undertaker's wife,
Michelle McCool.
Michelle McCool. She's like, well, if all you got to do is declare, I'm declaring. So, I mean, shit. The frog down the street
declared. She can still work, though. She can at least work, though.
Yeah, at least she can work, but the bullfrog out on the corner declared, okay? Everybody's declared now. Y'all can shut up about the women's segment. We got everybody in.
And this segment right here proves why women don't get a lot of TV time, because it sucked.
It looked like a Karen convention. Yeah, I'm declaring. No, I'm declaring. No, I'm going to win. Well, I'm going to win, but if I don't win, I want you to shut the fuck up. Really?
And the worst part of this, and it kind of goes with my dissertation, is when Naomi and Bianca come out, they stereotype them as the typical two black females bickering back and forth like they're high school besties.
Yeah. They stereotype the crap out of them, but that's neither here nor there, but I agree with you.
I've got the words directly because obviously I'm following it from, like, obviously I'm going down in order for Bleacher Report so we don't get lost in the shuffle, which is like most talent these days. But they actually have a very funny line here.
The local custodian just declared.
Yeah.
This is breaking news.
Oh, breaking news. My cat just declared.
Exactly.
Breaking news. I need a piss. I don't.
That just declared.
Reese's piss just declared for the Rumble.
Exactly. It wants in. There is actually one comment that is genuinely really funny here, and it literally
wants
says
Indiana, that's for sure.
Long time. This was the usual WWE style setup for a multi-person match. Everyone had a little time of defense. Everyone spent a little time selling for somebody. The only selling I saw last night was Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, that was it.
This match generally wasn't good.
No, it was horrible. It was put together at the last second, and they were like,
it was very sloppy. There is some well, they've labeled it as their notable moments and observations. And this very top one is the problem. The video package for Charlotte Flair's return was good, but it's hard to tell if WWE wants her to be a babyface or heel when she returns. Can I just say for record on this, they've said babyface off heel. Grammar correction is babyface or heel. Babyface off heel doesn't make sense. But I think we already know what she's going to be. She's going to be a heel. Charlotte Flair's a babyface doesn't work.
No, every time she's tried to be a babyface, it falls flat. And she's not good at being cool. That's just all there is to it.
She's better as a heel. Nice.
She's only cool
much better as a heel.
She's only cool at literally telling people where to go. And she does that quite well.
She's like her father. Her father was never good as a babyface. He was always good as a heel. You love to hate Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Runs in the family.
It's that smug prick feel. Like Charlotte Flair, for all her worth, and I've consistently said I am not a fan of Charlotte Flair, but I'll give her the respect where she is because she's an absolute doughball. But her legacy speaks for itself, even though it's all based on nepotism. But you have to live up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And to an extent, she has. 4 or 5, maybe 6 of her title reigns are just handed to her anyway. Some of them are actually decent, but it doesn't picture the way we're doing.
Her first one was excellent. The second one was okay. And everything after that is a knee-jerk reaction. If they're not getting the pop they want, they send Charlotte in there to take the title back, get the heat back on it. Then they give it to somebody else to see if they can go with it. The fact of the matter is they continuously expose their locker room for the lack of talent that exists therein. And everybody gets to, I mean, I don't get the Charlotte hate from that because what that tells me, and this is not simping or standing or anything. What that tells me is that Charlotte is the person they can put a title on and send it back where it was before they put it on boring and lose the heat on it again. Then she's got to come back around, grab the title. I don't have a problem with somebody being like that. That's what Ric Flair really, honest to God, was. Every time, I'm sorry, that sounded bad. Every time they went to put it on somebody, And the Kerry Von Erich section of this is very important for this.
Good point.
Kerry Von Erich was as over in Texas as Ric Flair was in the rest of the world. They put the title on Kerry Von Erich. It died. He had to go get it back, run it back through the circuit, pick it back up again. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is Charlotte Flair has a good persona, which, I mean, you love her or you hate her, but you pay attention to her. That's the whole thing of it. And the Flairs have always had that ability. If your title is going to Hell in a Handbasket, Ric Flair has won the United States title. That was not a quest. WWE.
It was his first singles title he ever won.
Well, I mean, no, his first singles title was a Mid-Atlantic title. Actually, it was probably an AW. No, it wasn't AWA. It was a Mid-Atlantic title.
No, I mean, like when he was officially in the NWA.
Yeah, the Mid-Atlantic champion. He was our Mid-Atlantic champion for like 10 minutes, and they realized he had the goods to be the world champion.
Because he was great.
Yeah, the U.S. title they put on him after Magnum TA got hurt so bad, and they tried dancing the title on everybody, and it just didn't work, so they put it on him for a few minutes and got it built up. Ric Flair builds titles. Charlotte Flair builds titles, whether people like it or don't like it. That's the whole thing of it.
Only one person, in my opinion, has ever followed Ric Flair correctly when it comes to holding a specific title.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess who I'm thinking of? There's a specific title. It's not a world championship. It's a mid-card championship. But also, this is a fair comment as well, Fletch. It is very much possible, but we do need to see. I'll comment the rest of your comments in a minute after we see if these two can guess who I'm thinking of. So it's not the world championship. It's a mid-card title. Who do you think I'm talking about?
He's only, to my knowledge, held the U.S. title, the Mid-Atlantic Championship. He's held the NWA World title and the WWE World title.
He also held the Intercontinental title as well. But it's the NWA WCW US title particularly that he held.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. They put it on him to build it back up.
Best person to follow, in my opinion, was Lex Luger.
Yeah, Cokehead Luger. I like him. Don't get me wrong. He's a good guy. He's changed his ways. He's great. But at that particular point in time,
he was on it like he was on it worse than Michaels.
Yeah, he was on the juice.
I believe Lex Luger is the best US champion ever. Regardless of promotion. Yeah, that 550-day title reign is no joke.
It fitted.
The only thing it didn't help is he couldn't lead a main event scene. That's why they were right when they said Sting versus Luger didn't work.
Yeah, no, it never did. Luger was a top mid-card guy. Yeah, somebody else who's a top mid-card guy right now, and nobody really wants to hear this, is Jey Uso. Jey Uso's ceiling is mid-card. That's his ceiling. He's phenomenal in it. He's got the crowd popping. If you work the matches the way you should work them,
yes, it should be Fletch, 100%.
Yeah, if you work the matches the way you should work them, match order and everything else. If you had Jey Uso slotted in the top mid card spot right there, that would set up your main card. That would set your main card up so nicely. I don't know why in the world they insist on trying to stick him someplace he doesn't work. And he doesn't work in this environment. He doesn't work in the main event. You can call him main event Jey Uso all you want. He's not the main event.
And we already established this last week as well. We've established it for so long. His brother, even though the two of them, I generally don't like them both, his brother is a better worker.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Uso is far better than Jey Uso. He's got a better character as well.
Well, Jimmy Uso needs to go on a diet. I can tell you that much. If he went on a diet, he'd probably be there. But and
I agree with that.
If you're listening, Oos, I mean it, Oos. I mean it, Oos.
I mean, here's a funny one. You lose weight, yeet. You no weight, no yeet.
Exactly.
Watch this.
Me, fat ass. You know, fat ass. Watch this.
Not gonna lie. I will never ever let the absolute dynamite duo of Cole Vale and TV ever forget the words "watch this" every time they're on a stream.
Watch this.
You
me fat ass, you know fat ass. Watch this.
You, Liv Morgan, can't work. You, Deonna, can work. Watch this.
Watch this. I mean, that's another thing too. I've been watching people bitching and moaning about AEW all day. All right, AEW, Deonna Purrazzo, y'all let her go. AEW, Swerve Strickland, y'all let him go. AEW, Tony Storm, WWE, they let her go too. I don't blame you. I'd be pissed off too if I were them.
That was a big mistake letting Tony Storm
almighty.
go. The wait that was. We'll get to that soon when we get to
AEW,
that but that was really wrong. Yeah.
This 6-woman tag was garbage. It was not spontaneous. It was not the chaos they were looking for. It was none of that. It was just a bunch of woke bitches arguing about stuff.
This
At
segment
the end
for
of the
me,
day,
this segment for me would have been better. I would have completely changed that around. For me in this segment, what I would have done, I still would have opened with Tiffany Stratton anyway, because we know that eventually she's going to trade shows. So I still would have gave her I still would have gave her chance to try and prove herself on the mic, to see if she can finally get the rhythm and let her grow into it. And I still would have had Rhea Ripley come out. But what I would have done instead is Nia Jax would have just came out on her own. Nia Jax, when she insults the crowd, is brilliant. I would have had Nia on her own. She comes out, berates both champions, and she takes them out. You get the interference from Bianca, and then you get the interference from Naomi. Comes out and helps them. Then Candice LeRae comes out and completes it. Then you've got the six of them all together. Rhea Ripley can then get a couple of trade shots in. Then the referee comes out, and then you just start the match. It's quicker, it's easier, and then you still get Tiffany Stratton out the way. She's got no hassle.
Yeah.
Much better segment. Much better segment.
Then you gotta stop that, man. You really do. You gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. Anytime I hear anytime I start hearing logic, nope, can't have that. No, you gotta stop that shit. You gotta stop that. No, stop that shit. Stop thinking.
I can't help it. I've got it.
Stop thinking.
Got to do it. I can't help it.
Stop using your brain. Join the bubble.
No thanks. There is actually one comment. There is one massive comment. Obviously, Fletcher's put some few in a minute. I'm actually going to bring them up in just a second. This is the last comment from the notable moments section. There's only 3 of them. The trade insults is obviously a great one, but the third one is, and I completely disagree with this, I would have gave it to someone else. Morgan getting the win was a good call because it feels like she's had the least to do in recent weeks. Least to do. She literally walked into the ring, shook her ass, and then went, I'm in the Royal Rumble.
That's what happens when you're a Hooters woman.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the person with the least stuff to do recently has been, what? Raquel Rodriguez? She's had nothing to do. So, this is
I was going to be
ridiculous.
Real ugly, but I'll refrain.
Say what you need to say, because up next anyway is...
No, that's okay.
Sorry, she's already fallen away. Main event Jey Uso, that can't win main events is laughable. Yeah. mid card Uso works. Big Jim on a diet. Now he's grabbing the Big Jim gimmick for real. Grabs TV, I agree. They all want AEW like go for talent for what? For them to get lost in the thing is, talent should be allowed to go wherever they want. The problem is fans need to stop saying, oh, I miss XYZ, and then completely shutting the other talent down when, frankly, you were never a fan of them to begin with. If you're a genuine fan of the talent, even if you don't like the promotion, you still go and watch them.
That's what I do. That's what I do on a regular basis.
So I had people say to me, when Okada was rumored to be joining WWE before he went to AEW, Okada rumors to WWE were absolutely strong as hell. And I was literally asked to my face, and asked on messages, well, you're not going to watch Okada if he goes to WWE, are you? Because you're a fan of him, but you're not a fan of WWE. I'm like, when have I never said I'm not a fan of WWE? I actually am. I grew up watching WWE and Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Before TNA came along, I'm a fan of them. I just don't like certain direction paths. Just like there's times when I didn't like TNA direction. There's times when I didn't like WCW. I didn't like even like the ECW when that came back. I didn't like some of that direction, but guess what? I'm still a fan. I just want to see it done a little bit differently. Exactly.
I'm a fan of the athletes, not the letters.
Yeah, so I'm not going to like turn around and say, "Oh, Okada's went to WWE. I'm not going to be a fan of his anymore. I'm not going to watch his matches." Stupid comment. That's like me saying I'm not going to watch Penta anymore. Of course, I'm going to watch Penta.
Mm-hmm.
Or Deonna goes back to WWE. Of course, I'm still going to watch her.
Oh, he's damn sure going to watch that.
It's absolute stupid. Oh yeah, I'm not missing that for a second.
Yeah, he's not missing that for anything.
Never in a million years. Also,
he could go to Defy, and he'll be covering Defy matches after that. Trust me, it's going to happen.
Oh yeah. I think I did listen to this. I did listen to his clip actually. I know Catherine did. But Nick Nemeth dissing AEW and Busted Open. I think what he's basically saying, and I did actually go back and I gave him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because Nick Nemeth ain't stupid. David LaGreca's stupid, and I think in reality, I think Nick Nemeth wasn't laughing at AEW. I think he was laughing at how stupid David LaGreca is.
Mm-hmm.
David LaGreca's a mark.
But that whole thing where they had to get through a whole 3-month build into 30 minutes. It's technically true. We are going to obviously we don't need to rehash what happened on Dynamite. It is technically true what Nick Nemeth said, but he wasn't as animated and as stupid as David LaGreca. Nick Nemeth is actually saying he would long-wind it in a different way, and he actually presents a strong alternative. If you ask David LaGreca the same question, he can't do it. Funny that, eh? It's only good if it's booked. It's only good if it's booked your way, not if it's booked the way they want to do it. Nick Nemeth is a talent.
I was listening to a Twitter space yesterday, and it was supposed to be the eulogy of Ibu, but it turned into like a whole different conversation, which they brought up a great point. Fans only look at. Wait, no, let me finish this. Fans only look at wrestling through the lens of whatever promotion they like. So if they're a WWE fan and they're watching AEW, they only look through.
Go ahead. Just every time I hear that song, I got.
Yeah, I've got it on the music, but now I'm just gonna put this on.
I'm done.
No, go ahead.
No, keep going.
To the fans of it. No, I'm listening. I really was. Just when the Jeff Hardy music hits, it's like you kind of got to use that.
You know what's funny? It's free to use.
Yeah. Anyway, though, you are correct. Most people look through the lens of their favorite promotion. And there's an inside joke here I'm missing, I know, but it is what it is.
There is.
There's an inside joke I'm missing, and I'm just walking around. I'm hopping around the inside joke like it's like, okay, I don't know what it is, but I'll go with it. The biggest problem right now, and first I got a joke for you. You ready? You ready for this? Knock.
Jimmy Uso.
Do what?
Who's there?
Knock. Ibu.
Ibu who?
Exactly. I was the one that, by the way, I was the one that wrote that DM. People I'm like, well, I got jokes. They go, knock jokes. I'm like, yeah, actually. And I told the knock joke, and the guy was like, damn, I'm going to post that.
Just for you alone, Fernando. Remember the key banner. There's nothing wrong with accountability and criticism.
Yep.
Going into halftime, Reece, we're 0-0.
Nice. I still need to put it on the TV. I haven't turned it on. I forgot. The landscape would change, though. It's fun. If you want to be a main WWE star, all you have to do is now sign with AEW, and Levesque will want your ass back. Yeah, it's true. You
exactly.
Also have to be someone he likes. You have to be someone he genuinely likes, though. And that's another thing. Like, if he'd been in charge 4 or 5 years ago, give or take, like fully in charge, the likes of
bankrupt. Anyway,
I think the likes of Malachi Black and all that would have not have been in AEW. I think they would have been in WWE still if he'd been in charge then. Because Vince is the problem. They left because of Vince.
Well, I mean, Vince was kind of the problem, but
he still is.
they're still going to be booked like clowns when they, and even worse now. That's the whole thing of it. They're going to be booked worse than clowns if they go back. Because once they get you in the door, man, they love to shit all over you.
Well, I can't wait to talk about them. I really liked their presentation last night.
Yeah, we'll get to it in a minute. But yeah, the 6-woman match was unbelievable, like hot garbage. It was hot garbage all the way through. Made no sense. They're trying to book the women like they book the men, and they don't even book the men correctly, because if that shit had taken place with a bunch of dudes, it would still have been hot garbage, because 9 times out of 10 they pick the 6 dudes that have absolutely zero chemistry, and they have zero reason to be out there. It was, oh my God. People think this is good booking, though. What do you think, Catherine?
You know how I feel on women's wrestling. It was hot garbage. It's hot garbage when men do it. I don't need 6 or 7 men in the ring hollering, I declare for the Rumble. No, I declare for the Rumble.
But I declared first.
Who cares?
I'm going to win the Royal
ring
Rumble.
And get your ass kicked. Who cares?
There's 30 of you fuckers. One of you is going to win the Royal Rumble, and it's probably going to be...
And that whole segment did not do anything to make any of your women look any better.
Yeah, and doing it for the sake of doing it. Now, this is the one thing that drives me absolutely nuts. Triple H does not listen to the fans until it's just so loud. And then when he actually does listen to the fans, it's like he's the most clueless booker in the history of booking. It makes me wonder how he ever got a match off at some points in time, because it's like, I saw the noise. I saw the noise about equality. They had like last week, they had like 5, 6, 7 dudes declare for the Royal Rumble in grand and fantastic fashion. And then the noise started. Well, when are the women going to do it? You know, the Royal Rumble's next week. I don't have time to get invested in it. I'm like, look, dumbass.
And why does everything need you to be invested in it? Why can't it just be like a shock and awe thing?
Yeah, I know.
Why do you have to have 3 months of, or like, that's the one thing that you hear in the IWC is, I have to be invested in it. I need something to sink my teeth into.
Why?
Why can't you just enjoy whatever thrown together match?
Like, let's take this NFL bullshit here, for instance. Let's take the NFL bullshit. I'm not the least bit invested in the NFL. Not even a little bit. But I do want to see the Bills beat the Chiefs. There's no story to it except for the fact that the Chiefs replaced the Patriots as the team that everybody thinks cheats their way to the top. You know, so that's fine. But I just want to see the Bills win, because I'm old enough to remember watching the Bills show up to 4 blowouts. Like almost in a row, if I don't miss my guess. I think they went to the Super Bowl like, what, 3-4 times in a row and lost big every single time?
That's why the Bills stand for, boy, I love losing Super Bowls.
Exactly. You know, so I'm invested in that part of it. But all these people, it's like, well,
and wrestling is scripted. So again, why do you need something to sink your teeth into or be invested in? It's a scripted show. Yes. I watch TV shows all the time that are scripted. Don't mean I'm really invested in them. I just watch them because I like them.
I need to know that my favorite is going to be booked the way I want them to be booked.
And when they're not, I'm going to get on my social media account and scream and holler like a rabid dog.
Like an idiot, more like it.
I was trying to be nice.
No, they're idiots. They're idiots. They were born idiots. They're going to die idiots. They're idiots. There is no being nice. They're not going to be nice, so fuck them. I'm not going to be nice either. Let's see here. You know, I don't have the ability to flip all these things up here, but should WWE have a match like AEW does for the one spot? Okay, Fletch, what that really honest to goodness is their version of the Royal Rumble, and they run it quite regularly when they need to use it. When they need to build up a number one contender, they run gauntlets like the WWE does the Rumble. I think really honestly, the gauntlets are just Tony trolling WWE, and he does it much better because, you know, I like that version of it better. The Rumble would be so much better if number 30 might not even come out. You know, see, they build their Rumbles on the freshest dude winning or the dude that did the Iron Man, and same thing with the women. They do their Rumbles basically the same way. I like the gauntlets better because there's a possibility you don't see number 30. The gauntlets
yes, but
are where it's at.
AEW has no creative, so that's why they have to use gauntlets all the time.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love the gauntlet because you never know when it's going to end. Yeah, you don't know when it's going to end. You may not see your favorite, and the minute you see Orange Cassidy, your butthole clenches just a little bit more because you're afraid he's going to win. It works out, you know. It works out great. You got everything there.
That's why Catherine likes him so much.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, those are much better. And let's get out of this. Please, let's get out of this trying to figure out who's going to win it next. Enjoy who won it now. Mm-hmm. You know? I mean, literally, Cody Rhodes was champion 24 hours, and people were like, all right, who's going to dethrone Cody Rhodes? Who the fuck cares? We just spent 2 years getting a belt on him. Let's at least let him hang out for a month, then we'll figure it out, you know?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, and dead serious about that, because every time somebody wins the title, this guy's going to happen. That's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Mercedes Moné is going to lose that title about October or November because they're trying to cancel out Jade Cargill. So she's going to have that title until she cancels Jade Cargill. Whatever her title reign is, that's how long Mercedes is going to be +1. Then Athena's going to win it because Athena's the next one that's going to run off on a rocket ship. So the TBS title's spoken for the whole year. Nobody's going to win.
Happy birthday to Mercedes Moné, who turned 33 today.
Absolutely. They finally got her birthday right. They put up the right Mercedes. That's my little dig. AEW, when they screw up, I do make fun of them. They do. But I mean, the whole thing of it is, what was the match after this one? I really tried hard to forget SmackDown. Like, you know, when you look at that ugly chick in the club and think she's all that, and you do your best to forget about it, even though she's doing stupid shit to try to get everybody's attention. And when you walk out the door, you're like, wow, I would really like to forget what I saw. That's how I looked at SmackDown. That's exactly how I looked at SmackDown. No shit. Because I'm trying to forget this show, and y'all are trying to remind me of it. I told you I had bombs today, guys. Y'all thought I was kidding.
The next one is Gargano versus Cruz.
Oh, Jesus.
Did we need this? Did we really need this?
No. The only thing that really mattered was that the Guns came out and stopped it from going way overboard, and it led to the 2 out 3 falls match stipulation, which I'm actually okay with.
I'm just really sad we didn't get a Mexican Destroyer out of it. I'm very deeply disappointed.
Who's going to hit the Mexican Destroyer, though?
Those are only reserved for Penta.
Right. So, okay. So Penta is the only one that can hit the Mexican Destroyers. Everybody else just hits the Canadian variety. Got it. Okay. This guy. Yeah, I told you I had bombs when I came on here, so.
You scared the host away. Dag, Matthew.
No, he probably had to compose himself there for a minute. He's like, damn, this is funny.
No, my little brother wants to speak to me. Just used to carry on. He wants to ask me something.
Okay, cool. Keep carrying on, Catherine.
Yes, but did we need a Johnny Gargano versus whoever match?
You know what? When I woke up Friday morning, I said to myself, I need to get Midget Mello in there, and I need to get Gargano in there. The only thing that would have made it better is to have had Ralphus return from the dead and manage Johnny Gargano. If we had Ralphus managing Johnny Gargano, that guy would be so over today. No, nobody needed this. The problem is the problem is they've taken those tag titles and sent them to Hunter Traz.
Hunter Traz.
You know, they're in Hunter Traz right now. I mean, if he can have Contanamo, I can have Hunter Traz.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Those titles are in Hunter Traz right now. I mean, the match was, yeah, exactly, Fernando. The match was trash. The concept was trash. They need to put those titles on somebody that can carry them. They don't need to fast track fucking Motor City Machine Guns back into those titles. The fans aren't accepting it because they're not WWE people, even though they're the only two tag team specialists on that whole damn show that can actually fucking wrestle.
Yep.
But the fans don't accept them because they're not WWE born and bred, and when they die, they'll be WWE dead. They don't care. It was a bad sign, and Motor City Machine Guns, you guys are fucking idiots. You shouldn't have signed
on the dotted line.
They should have never signed with this company. It was stupid. There is no clout for them. It doesn't exist. It never will exist. Fans say they love you. They will not love you.
Half them fans didn't even know who they were.
Mm-hmm. And that concludes my rant on why the Motor City Machine Guns should not have the title again. But the problem is you don't have any other tag teams in there.
I was going to say, you have what? DIY, Machine Gun, LWO, if you ever wanted to really put them together, Santos' group, and that's it.
Yeah, the Lost Gardeners. And LWO, you know, that'll hit you on in a minute. And Pretty Zesty, who are...
I think Pretty Zesty should get the titles.
Oh, fuck that. God.
There we go. You want to kill the titles? Give them to Pretty Zesty.
I want to put them in the hands of one, somebody that can wrestle, and two, somebody that's going to wrestle. I mean, I was really happy when the War Raiders won the titles up on Raw. It's been 113 days, and they've defended them, what, once?
Mm-hmm.
They're getting that Logan Paul run, you know?
Hey, as I always say, work smarter, not harder.
Except it's not smarter.
It is for them. They're not wrestling and hurting their bodies.
Smarter would be walking around cutting promos and at least stirring the shit, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That would be smarter. At least do something with your non-existent asses.
Yeah, they sitting catering, enjoying themselves.
At least I will give Johnny Gargano and what the hell is his name again? Ciampa. I will give them credit that while they're not defending the titles, they are walking around backstage stirring up shit. If you're not going to wrestle, be good on the mic. If you're not going to be good on the mic, be good on the deviants. If you ain't got one of those three, get the belts off of them now. You know, if you can't do one of those three things, if you can't be good in the ring, if you can't be good on the mic, or if you can't be a deviant, get the hell out. I don't need you. You know, and I like the War Raiders. I want to like them. I want to cheer. I do cheer for them, by the way. I don't get that twisted. I do like the team. But if you're not going to defend the titles, at least be on the mic or in the middle of something, stirring up some shit to keep the titles relevant. Those titles are no longer relevant on SmackDown. They don't exist. You know, they've done so much to bury them that Anyway, Gargano, that was just, I'm getting off on tangents here. Gargano was not a necessary thing. It never was a necessary thing. DIY was not necessary. But here we are. So, what was the match after that one?
I'm looking that up. Since Reece left us high and dry.
No, Reece is fine. He's cool.
I just love giving him shit.
Yep. Oh, we all do that. That's like my favorite indoor sport, personally.
That's what my students used to tell people. They're like, if Catherine doesn't pick on you, well, they didn't call me Catherine, but they're like, if she doesn't pick on you, then that means she doesn't like you.
Oh, well, you never pick on me. So you must hate me to death.
I do pick on you.
Oh, I know. It's cool.
See. Oh, we got Tama Tonga and LA Knight.
So we got Cornholio and Catchphrase. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that guy right there. Hang on, I got a button for this.
We do not care.
Yeah, I got a button for that. I'll just let the button do my talking. Smash
the
was
highlight
horrible.
Was before the match, and Tama did his like he's biting the camera thing.
Yeah, the Cornholio thing. The only thing he needs is to be like this with a hoodie over his head, talking about I'm Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole. That's the only thing missing out of that entire promo. These guys are horrible. Those are bad hires. They're DEIs all the way across the board. Didn't earn it. And it really, really, really depreciates and devalues the work that LA Knight did getting himself over and getting that U.S. title over after Logan Paul took it home, banged it like a cheap broad, and threw it back out in the road. I mean, it was everything that LA did to make this title actually mean something. They've just completely unraveled in like a span of 3 months, and it's idiotic. And I do believe, and by the way, there is noise. There is legit noise.
This is great.
There is legit noise around that TKO wants to get rid of Triple H. There is literally legit noise about it. It started off as a rumor about 6 months ago, but some of the talking heads that I see now are really starting to talk about the fact that there's a rumor, and this is a rumor, that TKO is desperately trying to get the book out of Triple H's hand.
Well, then who are you going to give it to? That's the problem. They don't have anybody there they can give it to.
It's Michaels or William Regal.
Give it to Regal. Give it to Regal. Do not give it to Shawn Michaels, because that was like giving the White House to President Biden. You knew who was pulling the strings. You know, it's like giving the White House to President Biden. You know, Obama was pulling the strings. So I wouldn't give the book to Shawn. I give the book to Regal. Regal is regal, to say the least. He's got a good head about him when it comes to booking. Shawn's okay, but if y'all really want to keep giving him credit for that NXT bullshit, be my guest, because it's horrible too.
I would say he's done better with it. I think he's done better with it than maybe he would have been expected. I don't think maybe they expected him to be as good as he is with that, though.
But how hard was it to improve what Vince and Bruce Pritchard did to NXT? So the bar was already low, so he didn't have to rise it very far.
I mean, booking at NXT is... when I look at it, booking NXT is like playing basketball with a mentally challenged kid and calling him down for double dribbling. Okay? It's just, it's not good. I mean, I realize it's not too far of a step up from the bottom of the outhouse, but at least they've gotten to the seat of the outhouse now. It's still an outhouse.
I would say quintessentially, why I'm saying it's better in that way, even though I don't particularly care. Why I'm saying it's quintessentially better is because they've actually got somebody who seems to be more focused on it. Anyone else around it, they didn't really pay attention. I think he is actually paying attention. He's trying to make it better. The problem is how he's supposed to treat it better. It's not even talent. It's not even talent, I think. I think it's purely, what is this expectation for NXT? What is the expectation for it? Is it meant to be a developmental brand, or is it meant to actually be a third brand? Because they keep moving the goalposts.
Well, when you've got a product that can start a garage find, dust and all, it could start a garage find. You don't have to go very far to go up. And they haven't managed to do it. I thought when they picked up Stephanie and Julia, Delta, they got a couple other ones coming in who probably watched this and went, "Wait a minute, can I think about this?"
Mm-hmm.
I thought that signaled something. I thought that signaled that they were going to risk it just a little bit. But then Julia got there and she's wrestling WWE style. Stephanie just ate a pin last week.
Yeah.
From who was it? Shotzi. Stephanie ate a pin from Shotzi. So, I'm sorry. You're going to have to go a long way.
Wait and see where this goes, Matthew.
Yeah, it's going straight to the flush. That's where we're heading next. I mean, all you got to do now is flush, and then it's going straight to the septic and going straight out in the field. That's where it's headed. They just don't realize it.
I mean, I'm not particularly sure on NXT. I mean, I watch the odd talent and all that, but I don't watch it for mostly anyone else. I just watch it for the couple of talents I like, and then I skip it after that.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing these days. Because they have no men's division. Their men's division is stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Their men's division is beyond stupid. But anyway, back to this LA Knight and Cornholio thing here. What planet? What? First of all, they buried freaking. It's going to take them a minute to get Jacob Fatu back from that. The segment that supposedly set this match up, they buried Jacob Fatu with it. And, of course, Jacob managed to kind of unbury himself last night, but even that didn't work out right because the level of violence he had to go through to get there was ridiculous. And there's plenty of other stuff when we get to that part, but you can't unbury what was buried before it got there. Yeah. And Tama Tonga was flat ass buried before it got there. That thing was dead on arrival.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But they're still getting outrageous television time. You still have actual talented wrestlers in the back in catering. It didn't get LA Knight over.
What are we doing with LA Knight now? That's my question.
I have a theory on that. But go ahead, Reece. You want to start, and then I have a theory on what they're doing with LA Knight.
I think they're at the point now where they don't know what his projection's going to be. Like, people keep comparing him to Stone Cold and The Rock from the Attitude Era, the way he conducts his promos, the way he works and shit. Well, if that's the case, then there's only one trajectory for him, but it's not going to happen. If that is the whole comparison, then by logic, he's dropped his mid-card title. The next logic is he should do an Austin. He should win the Rumble. And he should go to Mania and win the title. That ain't going to happen, though.
No,
not this year.
No, not any year. Period.
This year is all about Cena.
Yeah, this year the golden shovel is in place. You've got the golden shovel is in play. You got to let that ride. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I think it's manner of like he's done. The comparison can only go so far that you're actually following up to the letter And if it doesn't work, then you've got to revamp it. I don't think they actually have any projection for LA Knight. I think this is purely they're trying to get his fans on side. Like, try to keep his fans on side. Try and say, oh, we're putting him in matches, in feuds. We're giving him time. But in reality, since he's dropped the title, he hasn't done anything of note except that rematch with Nakamura. There's been nothing else. So I think he's stuck in the shovel now where they will flip the title back and forth between champion and challenger, and it'll become a merry-go-round, and it won't fit well until they see someone they think, actually, this is who we want a long run with. I think they're stuck.
All right.
I think they're stuck, and they don't know what they're doing with LA Knight. Simple. I think he's literally going to be booked like a guy just gets the odd win here and there, but he's going to get heavy beatdowns before and after segments.
Okay. Well, LA Knight is the best of the rest when it comes on the mic.
Yeah.
When it comes to mic work. And Jacob Fatu's on Raw now, so we can forget about him.
That's true. He's been drafted.
It is amazing. No, he's been transferred, sir. Drafting happens next month.
Sorry, my apologies. He's been transferred. No, drafting
he's
isn't until
the transfer portal.
The draft will be after WrestleMania, surely.
So here's where I think they're going with LA Knight. And now everybody get out your laughing can because we're getting ready to laugh a little bit, but I'm going to be right when this all shakes out. The talent that WWE perceives as a talent is almost all on Raw now. They're getting the last few over there.
LA
slowly but surely.
Yeah.
LA Knight ain't going to be it. He's too old. He's not going to make the cut. That's why Bisexual Undertaker's back down here on SmackDown. So
they say they're too old, but if you look at the age of talent on Raw, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of age.
Oh, I know that, but that's the story, and I'm sticking to it because WWE's sticking to it. So when it all shakes out now, SmackDown is going to wind up being the work rate show, and LA Knight's going to be their world champion, at least for 6 months. It's not going to happen right away. It will happen after WrestleMania because whoever wins the Royal Rumble is going after Gunther.
They're not going for Cody. That's going to that'll be Cena or CM Punk.
Yeah, that'll be Cena or CM Punk. But it won't be either of them either. That's just it. See, they've got to figure out how to get the title over to Raw. They've got to figure out how to get the WWE title over to Raw.
They just declare trade for the champions. It'll just be Aldous will pull rank saying, I want Cody. Well, then Aldous will say, fine. Then give me Gunther.
But that would be too upfront. You can't do it like that. You can't just move Cody to Raw. All them SmackDown people are going to have to pay $7, $8 a week to see him. That ain't going to work.
It's quite easy. That's the reality. It is still easy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they would bite the bullet for it. And I think they will. Reality check, though, and this is what I'm thinking, this might actually be better, is I don't necessarily think. I think one of them will be defended in the chamber. I think it'll be the world title. I think the world title will be defended in the chamber in Toronto in March. Yeah. No, I think it will. And the reason why I think it will is because that's your way to get Gunther away from the title as well.
Maybe. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying maybe. That sounds feasible. I don't think any top titles, I don't think any top men's titles are going to be defended at all.
They've done it before.
I know they've done it before. I know they've done it before, but I don't think I'm with the apathy crowd on this because after last night we got the apathy crowd. Mm-hmm. We got the WrestleNomics teat suckers, so to speak. Just because it was necessarily bad, you have to understand we're on the road to WrestleMania. And we don't need any knee-jerk things. We don't need any hot title swaps or None of that stuff until we get to WrestleMania. Translation, that's what I'm programmed to think.
Which is cheap, but you'd make it more interesting if you do have a title change.
It would, but since when's WWE made anything interesting in the last decade? I'll wait.
The Edge versus Chris Jericho main event, to be fair.
Yeah, that wasn't edgy for me. That wasn't interesting. It wasn't a gotcha moment or anything. I could see it coming.
Well, it was because the build for that WrestleMania event wasn't even going to be Edge versus Chris Jericho for the world title. It was going to be Michaels versus Taker for the world title.
I know. But still, I mean, you're still in the realms of I saw it coming. See, like,
but you still get what you're looking for. The problem is what follows it.
Right.
And what followed it was Jack Swagger, who can't.
I love old Jackie.
Worst world champion I've ever seen.
Oh no! There was one that was worse.
Not in my eyes that I've seen before or after that I can recall, that I can think of. Like, he was generally the worst I've ever seen.
What's his name? Alberto Del Rio's second run. Way worse. Way worse. The highlight of it was his assistant getting thrown through two tables and everybody cheering because it appears he could take a bump. Seriously.
Ricardo Rodriguez could easily take a bump.
Oh, I know that, but nobody else knew that. Like, the crowd was going nuts. Like, oh my God, he took that bump like it was. That was the highlight of that entire run.
The reason why I think Swagger's run is the worst I've ever seen, purely for the fact that his promos were.
That's how he talks.
But it's shit. And then when you get to him actually doing a concrete promo with in-depth, he got shut down by the Big Slow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already doomed. Once you get shut down by the Big Slow, that's it. Your title reign is irredeemable.
Speaking of which, Phantasmo himself sounds like he's coming back.
Captain Insano, more like.
Captain Insano. I forget. It was one of them O's out there, whether it was Phantasmo, Insano, Dumbo. I mean, Steve-O. Same thing.
Yeah, AEW did file a trademark for Captain Insano, which is...
please don't do that. Tony, please. Pretty please.
If they do, then I hope that they have Adam Sandler there as the water boy.
That would be a saving moment for that, but
I would have gave Swagger the world title when he had won the Elimination Chamber, though. Like, I liked his We the People run. Like, that actually worked for him as a believable world champion because he looked the part. And Dutch Mantel's just phenomenal. So leading up to Hayes versus Paris, I've always got big respect for Dutch Mantel, even though he can be a bit hey-ho. Like, he's still he's responsible for the Knockouts being a proper women's division. No one else, just him. I was going to say, so following this match, obviously we got Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They were told they were going to Raw. The Miz obviously gets a stickle in his ass because obviously he wanted those to be his new friends because he's stuck with the Wyatts on SmackDown. I mean, if it's the workers' show, I'm not a fan of the Miz anyway. But
when's the last time you've seen the Wyatts? Are they really workers on the show?
They're not really workers.
Why is Miz afraid they don't ever show up to work?
No, afraid. No idea. It makes sense for the Miz to be on SmackDown, to be fair, because last time the Miz was actually on SmackDown, at least he gave some interest in the Intercontinental title. He might actually be. The weird thing is, the Miz could be the savior for the US title. Because his world title runs are never good, but his mid-card title runs actually at least draw interest. He at least makes, you know what I mean? Like, he actually dedicates himself to making those titles interesting.
Because that's his spot.
But he's definitely good for it.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. If you had Jey Uso booked mid with all that Oos and Yeet and...
They had the Intercontinental title for, what, 2 weeks, and they took it off him?
Because he can't carry a title. He doesn't need a title. That's the thing. Somebody needs to sit Fat Boy down and say, look, Unc, Your kid's okay. He's passable.
Yeah.
He's passable if you quit trying to put all this unrealistic, hedonistic, stupid, idiotic motherfucking pressure on him. He's passable.
Do you think, and this is just a fair question, I personally don't, but if they seriously bought into him like in that way of a mid-card champion and they actually gave him a run, do you think maybe even, say, 2 months minimum, he would actually do a decent job?
No titles.
Good man, because I'm the same.
Ronnie Garvin was the same way. Ronnie, please don't knock me out. But in all seriousness,
he can't move anymore.
Ronnie Garvin was a great mid guy. And the minute they put the world title on him, he died. He died right there. Essentially.
Rick Martel. Just ask Rick Martel. Like, they ruined him. He was a great world champion in AWA.
Yeah.
They fucked him on WWE, but I like Rick Martel. Yeah.
But you could have Jey Uso in that slot as the hype guy for the main events or the main card.
Yeah.
You could have him hyping. Same thing with Miz. Miz has been misappropriated as a world champion because people with the book misunderstand where his popularity lies.
But I agree with that, because when you look at his world title runs, it didn't feel right. But when he held the US title or when he held the Intercontinental title,
that felt like it worked.
And it was a mainstay. Like, the one thing I always praise the Miz for is when he won those championships, he was always on those shows. He was always promoting the content. He was always promoting the title. He was always he was basically. Now, I'm not saying he is Bret Hart, because he never will be, but Bret Hart always showed up for work. He always showed up to do the promotion. He always showed up to do the business.
Right.
The Miz actually does do that. Not as good as Bret Hart ever could, but he shows up in that way. Kind of like who's a semi-decent heel single that might actually work in comparison that I can think of. Actually, I've got a good one that works. He is the WWE equivalent of Booker T when he won the TV title in '98.
Right. Yeah. See, that worked. He
was always there, and he was always doing what he was asked to do, and he always made sure it was right in that way. It was never offensive. It was never offensive.
No, and it worked. That's the whole thing of it. That's just the whole thing.
And that's true. That is true, Catherine. Sting was definitely not ready for that run yet.
Yeah, Sting wasn't ready for it, but I'm just saying that, like, if you took Miz, if you took Uso, and now if you're going to book him as a champion, put him and his brother back together, put the tag titles on him, and let him go to work. Let him go to work.
They know how to do that better.
They can do that on the main scene. They can be tag team champions on the main side. Yeah. But they can't be neither one of them. I don't want to see either one of them as an individual at all. Neither. Period.
Me neither. I do agree with Fernando to an extent. I'm not a fan of The Miz. But if you said to me, you need a roster right now, purely just WWE talent, you need a mid-card champion, who you put the title on, one of my first names is unfortunately The Miz.
Put a mid-title on him, yes. Put a mid-title on him and slot him in the mid spot and let him work it. And the fact that everybody thinks he's trash is actually not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's what a heel's meant to be. Like 6 to 9 months. 6 to 9 months, he can go through all the baby faces, and then eventually someone comes back and goes, actually, hold on.
You could build off of that. You could build.
Yeah, exactly. And another one, for example, right now, when you look at it in a smart way, The Miz wins the US title. For example, he takes it off Nakamura because he's like, it should be for us. Say he takes the title from Nakamura. You could have him feuding with Damian Priest for a while. It's actually feasible. It gets over.
I don't care as long as I get Damian Priest on my TV.
Yo, man, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. So,
what's up, sir?
Anyway. But there are just certain wrestlers who are better in the mid card title than they are the main title.
Absolutely. Long story short, just for pure entertainment, main event was Jimmy Uso versus Kevin Owens. Again, shout out to Kevin Owens for his actual look this week. The guy just gets it. Like, he just gets his look.
Oh, can we talk about Kevin Owens trolling with the t-shirts?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he came out in a Naomi shirt, and Jimmy Uso looked at him like, I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah. That's what
That's
Cody meant when he said. That's what Cody meant when he said that Owens is a generational talent, because only they think like that. Like, no one else does that. Like, no one comes out in a non-Canadian crowd as a heel wearing a Bret Hart hoodie.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody does that. It's clever, it's smart, and it's methodical thinking, and that's why Kevin Owens should win the ladder match. He won't, but he should. Yes, we all stand by this.
But what are they going to do with those 4 segments they run on Raw?
Turn them into something that
better
matters.
Than that, what are they going to do with the people in Judgment Day? Because
who cares?
They suck individually, and I like JD Madonna, but he sucks.
No one likes JD Madonna. The only likable one in that faction is when he's actually on it is Finn Balor. When he's on it.
So let me rephrase it. I like JD Madonna because women like men with accents.
He's got the same accent as Finn Balor.
I like Finn Balor.
Yep. All right, now.
But I've liked Finn Balor since he was in New Japan, so.
There you go. Just go on ahead with that. Get it all out your system, Catherine. Come on, get it all out your system. Get it all out your system.
An hour and 56 minutes in, and she's getting to that crack spot. Hey,
I've been good. It was an hour and 56 minutes.
A very strong take from Maria here. Maria says Sami is going to turn heel and help Kevin Owens win the championship.
That could be a good swerve if done correctly.
It would be a good swerve. I only think that happens if the Royal Rumble match doesn't main event the actual event itself. That's the only thing. If the WWE title match main events it, though, then I would do that, because that's actually very interesting. But it goes against the whole Kevin Owens wants the main event against Sami at WrestleMania.
Here's kind of how I see this thing playing out right now. If they're smart, okay, they open up Royal Rumble with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. That's your curtain jerk match. Kevin Owens gets beat. And then he makes a surprise, which is a surprise to absolutely no one. In the Royal Rumble.
No idea what happened.
Now here's where it is.
No, I'm saying I think my Wi-Fi may have just flipped me around, so it refreshed the screen and flipped us all back to original position.
So here's the deal. He loses, and then he comes back to the Royal Rumble. Here's a story of a man named Brady. We're gonna keep switching them around here. Anyway, that's before a lot of y'all's time, but it's a real show. Then Kevin Owens gets into the Royal Rumble, gets down to the final 4. And Sami Zayn gets him eliminated from the Royal Rumble because he's so mad. He's trying to get back to Cody Rhodes, and Sami gets in the way, and that's where they have their fight at WrestleMania. If they're smart, that's how it should be booked. If anybody has a problem with that, go ahead.
You said 2 words.
If they're smart.
It does not apply to WWE.
Yeah.
3 words. If they're smart.
Yeah, because I don't think Cody's going to eat that pin, Maria. I don't think Cody's going to eat that pin to Roman Reigns. I don't believe it. I don't believe it in my heart of hearts. The only people that could eat a pin from Roman Reigns now, this late in the game.
That's why he couldn't get it, to be fair. But this circumstance where it says he'll take it from KO. KO wins the ladder match, and then he just pins Kevin Owens. That would really be a pain. But Punk winning the Rumble and Heyman helps Punk the favor would be interesting.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that then Sammy interferes with it and gets Kevin Owens eliminated on his quest to get back to the world title, and that's where you get your WrestleMania match.
Yeah, he deserves it anyway.
I have yet to figure out how they're going to get that title on Raw. They haven't made any, and I know for a fact that Netflix wants all WWE original shit on their Raw show. They want the Intercontinental Championship, they want the WWE Championship, and they want the WWE Tag Team Champions. They want those titles on Netflix, and I still have yet to figure out how they're going to get it done. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Well, they'll keep the World Tag Team titles. They'll definitely keep the World Tag Team titles. The Women's Intercontinental title and the Women's WWE titles definitely stay in there. All the ones that are just referenced as World Championship will go to SmackDown, except the WWE Tag Team. It's basically going to be Raw and SmackDown 2000s all over again.
Yeah, but I haven't figured out how they're going to do it, and they haven't made enough ovations to get it done. And that's the part that's starting to get on my nerves, because I think that's 90% of all this shit wrestling we're getting right now.
Netflix will just say, give it. Netflix will just say, give us it. That'll be it.
Yeah, but what they ought to do is just say, okay, all these guys going over here, but they don't want to let the cat out of the bag. See, they did with Damian Priest, and I was shocked. Now that I will say, they threw me a curve when Damian Priest showed up on SmackDown, because I know in the back of my mind SmackDown's the B show.
Mm-hmm.
So all those Damian Priest fans are like, you mean to tell me I just bought Netflix and he ain't going to be on the show? That's the problem you're running into here. See, I don't know that they anticipated this, but their fans are ridiculously stupid. The fans. Now, not people who watch the wrestlers. I'm talking about the fans of those three letters. I don't think they realized how ridiculously stupid most of them are.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think WWE, honest to God, did not realize how incredibly stupid their fan base is.
Exactly. Kevin Owens obviously does win with the pop-up powerbomb. Perfect. That'll do lovely. That's what we're looking for. What was I going to say? There's actually, before we move on to, we'll do Collision, then we'll wrap up with Saturday's main event, because that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to go from a little bit of energy. So,
thank goodness. Real wrestling. Okay.
Before we do it, I just want to read the last reviews from Bleacher Report on this show. So, hold on. Wait. Oh, never mind. I thought it was a goal, but it's not. It is a goal. Catherine,
you look a little bit disappointed there.
It's because her team is getting beat to 9.
What I think about you, Reece.
You say you had an itchy nose there, Catherine.
The thing is, though, they would just do it. But yes, we're winning, Catherine. Told you.
I know. I'm watching the game.
That's the whole thing, sir. That's the whole thing right there, sir. They've just realized that they can't do what Netflix wants them to do and have it make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the.
And a lot of us knew that. When I read the report on what Netflix actually wanted, I'm like, this is going to be a clusterfuck in the royal order of clusterfucks. This is going to be the biggest clusterfuck in the history of clusterfucks. Is how you're going to get people over. And the big part of it is you've got this fan base that's so fidgety or fickle. That's the word I'm looking for, fickle.
Both are relevant.
And now they're starting to realize the people that they've been standing for and the people that they've eat oatmeal so they can buy the merch. You know, they've got like 25 T-shirts of Gunther, and he's going to wind up on SmackDown and be given that B title, and they're going to sit there and go, you mean to tell me I ate bread and water for 6 months so I could have every Gunther T-shirt, and he's not the guy I thought he was?
Is anybody really buying Gunther T-shirts?
Actually, they're pretty high up on the selling. He's high up on merch.
Yeah, he is actually.
He's way up there on merch. He's not in the basement. I can tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with LA Knight. They're going to start realizing here. See, this is the conundrum that WWE created for itself while it was taking that $5 billion victory lap. They forgot about what got them there. Of course, they do that on a regular basis. It's like a Special Olympics gold medal for WWE. Every time they figured out that they've been doing it wrong for so long. It's like it's just ridiculous. They're going to figure this out, and I'm not 100% sure WWE's ready for this revolution. Because you get a bunch of rich people, you shit them out of a couple of $1,000s. They're like, no big deal. I'll just go get a couple of thousand more. You get that guy that works at McDonald's flipping burgers, and he worked 3 overtime shifts, burnt the hell out of his arm to get that title. And turns out he did all that for a B show. That guy right there is not going to be happy. Okay? So, I mean, and we know the average median income for the average WWE fan, it doesn't line up with the prices. So, well, there went that sign. Anyway, that's the conundrum they find themselves in right now. And I'm here for it. I'm here for the whole damn thing. This is going to be hilarious. So, but let's get the Collision so I can actually get my palate cleansed before we have to do that shitty show that was last night. That show was shit last night, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna be surprised if they pull 1-4 on that thing total. I'm gonna be surprised if main event pulled 1-4. If it pulled 1-4, I'll be like, y'all guys really do. You guys are really into S&M, aren't you?
Do you want me to tell you how many views on that it's actually got on YouTube right now?
How many?
1,388,478 views in the space of 18 hours.
Okay.
It was when I watched it, like when I'd watched it back, because I didn't watch it live, I couldn't be arsed. When I watched it live, it was at 1,100,000, something like that.
Okay.
And I watched it back before I went out, and I went out at 2:00 our time. So you're talking about 1 p.m. UK time,
right?
1.1 million.
Okay, that's views.
Mm-hmm.
How many stayed YouTube for the whole 2 hours?
No idea.
That's what I'm trying to say. When you get down to the brass tacks of it,
that's YouTube though. That's harder. That's harder until they actually, unless they physically show it on their YouTube channel. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, unless they actually give us the numbers from the back end that I have to look at and get disgusted at with YouTube every time I look at them. Like, exactly. you had 500 views, but the average watch time was 8 minutes. I'm like, okay, so I didn't really have a, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, in terms of last night, similar to SmackDown, I said certain talents stood out for a reason. Again, it was the same 3. Well, not really. My standouts for Saturday night's main event before we even do Collision, I'm just saying, was Ripley, Breaker, and Jacob Fatu. Again, for separate reasons. It's actually becoming a bit of a novelty. Like, it's quite obvious now. It's not even funny. Kevin Owens stood out well in that segment, to be fair, but that was really it. But
that was expected, though.
Yeah, he just gets it. Like, he's ahead of the curve right now, but hey ho, let's do Collision.
Let's do Collision, yes.
Collision was not too bad.
Collision was fucking excellent, man.
I'm saying not too bad because of one of the matches really let it. Well, actually, no. Yeah, one of the matches really let it down. That's why I'm not saying it was excellent. I'll say great. But one match really lets it down. So Collision card was international title match, TBS #1 contenders title match. That fucking finish sucked. Champion versus champion match.
Nah, you're just mad Deanna didn't win.
No, I'm kinda. Samoa Joe versus Nick Wayne. Some of that was right. The ridiculous match involving the Undisputed Kingdom. The Hounds of Hell, phenomenal. Match of the night versus Gates of Agony. And then a timeless performance involving Mariah May. So, Collision obviously does start with the the Patriarchy having their fun because obviously it's the Homecoming Collision episode, and then goes straight into Samoa Joe versus Nick Wayne. This match was rated like A- by WrestleZone, just flat out.
Anybody notice that Samoa Joe has slimmed down?
Yep. Yeah, he's went down from 317 to about 307. He's lost about 10 pounds. It was still helpful for him. He's actually moving like a big guy, but he still
replaced the
himself.
Fat with muscle. That's what happened. He replaced the fat with muscle, and
probably someone in that director's box when he was doing filming for months probably told him, "Mate, you're a fat fuck. Lose some weight."
But that match was good. That match overall was good. The preface behind it was I'm not a big fan of pop-up matches like that.
I'm not a fan of Nick. I'm not a fan as much of Nick Wayne anymore. He's stale.
He's stale because he stayed in that faction too long and he's been overshadowed. I mean, that's the problem with everybody. I keep hearing every time, "Oh, get him with Christian Cage, it'll be great." No, it won't. Christian Cage is that good and everybody else is that not good. In a lot of scenarios, everybody they put him with, he's that good and everybody around him is that not good. I mean, Nick Wayne doesn't have the mic skills, obviously.
They're just saying put a mask on Nick. I would do a lot worse than that.
He could be El Generico. He could be El Generico. That's correct. That's exactly the first thought that came to my mind. He could be El Generico. Gimmick infringement, but who cares? You know?
You probably get sued, but it'd be funny. Give him the A-Kid treatment. You know what I would do with Nick Wayne? I wouldn't quintessentially put a mask on him, but I'm not saying direct copy for copy, because to be fair, that was done really well, which is rare. But Nick Wayne should be geared and working like Mustafa Ali was before he was made to work with the Retribution.
Absolutely.
The half mask with the full bodysuit and the tights. That's how he should be working, but not obviously. Don't make it look exactly like Mustafa Ali's, because Mustafa Ali is one of a kind. Shout out to the re-signed TNA talent, thank God. But I would like to see more effort. I want him to completely eviscerate the angle of the patriarchy. I think the patriarchy has lived its time. It should be a little bit different now. Christian Cage with Kip Sapien and is actually enough. Nick Wayne maybe on his own works. I think he should be putting talent over. I don't think Nick Wayne is in a position to be jumped at something. But I would use him in different ways that can actually fulfill his potential, and then you let him grow. It's a good match, but unfortunately, and I know people do say this about certain talents moving from promotion to promotion. I'm going to say this as well because I noticed this on 2 occasions last night, and there's no excuse. Nick Wayne was clocking himself last night as well. He clocked himself twice during the same spot. It was the Muscle Buster.
Yep.
That for me is a no-no. You do not clock during that. It's an insult to the talent, but also it's an insult to Samoa Joe. He has that move perfectly timed everywhere he works. I've only ever seen Nick Wayne clock that move, which for me is embarrassing. That let that match down. But in terms of working the match, really well done. Joe let Wayne get as much in as he could, and then he beat the piss out of him. Loved it. And I like the fact he beat him with the Muscle Buster and not the Coquina Clutch. I want to see the Muscle Buster be used more as a finish again, because Joe has 2 good finishes. So let him exploit both of them. So it was great to see the Muscle Buster in action, and also multiple attempts, not multiple kickouts. That's what I'm looking for. Anything else you want to say on this one, you two, about this match, and in particular that stood out for you? Anyone else on that one?
I like seeing Samoa Joe back in the ring.
Okay. And I would
And I
also
think Nick Wayne
go
should
ahead.
be put with Chris Jericho in the Jericho Vertex.
You hate him, don't you? You really
Nick
hate Nick
Wayne?
Wayne.
Yes.
Yeah, you really hate Nick Wayne.
Although he's
Okay.
really cool. We met him in 2023 at WrestleCade.
Yeah.
What did Nick Wayne do to you? Did he tell Brendan that he wasn't your son?
No, I just don't like him.
Fair.
She just don't like him. I would like to see. On what you said as well, Reese. I would like to see Samoa Joe combo that up.
Yeah.
Because that would be fierce if he went from Muscle Buster straight into the clutch.
Yeah.
That would be a done. That would be nobody kicking out of that. That would be because if you built that kind of finish up, then if somebody actually did kick out of it 6, 7, 8 months, years from now, it would mean more.
This is what I suggested about Santana. Santana on that TNA episode a couple of weeks ago when I said that I like the spin the block lariat that he does a finish. It's really cool. But that alley-oop facebuster into the powerbomb that he did to get the other win in the gauntlet match, that would be, I think that going forward would be a great finish for Santana.
Yeah.
It's not just one fucking move. It's the alley-oop facebuster. He floats over into a Liger bomb.
Right.
You're not getting up from that.
Right. It would be a definite crowd signal too. See, that's the thing about it. The crowds are kind of confused right now. One criticism I do have of AEW is they've confused the crowds so bad.
Really badly.
They don't know when to pop and when not to pop.
And also it's I think people like to compare AEW to WCW 2000, which I think is a bit harsh.
Yeah, no, that's not even close.
But I'm not saying the level of booking is as good as 96, 97, and to be fair, most of 98 WCW. And to be fair, people underrate 99. 99 was good until Starrcade. Let's be real.
That's because they were arguing over how they were going to book Starrcade, and they had diluted the match. They had diluted the entire match format of Starrcade so badly.
Yeah,
it was.
So I would say from 99 in general for WCW, for me it got bad after Halloween Havoc. After Halloween Havoc, I choose to forget anything for WCW that was good because there wasn't much. But in that period, 96 to that period of 99. The WCW crowds really struggled for who the babyface was and who the heel was, for who they were popping for crowds. AEW have that exact same issue, and it's quite worrying. They need to establish that. Now, WWE fans to a degree are at times mental, but at least they actually still get where the heel and the babyface is in terms of actually who they're popping for. Once and TNA fans do it really well, New Japan fans do it really well. I think AEW fans just need to get that. Instead of just cheering for all your favorites, actually cheer for the concept of who's a babyface, who's a heel. That's all they have to do.
It's overrated.
They have to. Otherwise, they're not going to establish the course for the actual product. I think that's my issue. But
I think
behave, Catherine.
I think that if Deonna Purrazzo had won that match, you'd be in a better mood. That's what I know right now. If Deonna Purrazzo had won that match, you'd be in a whole lot better mood about that match. I know it. I just go ahead, cop to it, and get it over with. Okay, just cop to it. Just cop to it.
No, that's not the point. It's not the point. That's not even.
You're blushing. Cop to it.
No, I'm not. It's
yes,
not
you
that
are.
She didn't win. No, I'm not. It's not that she didn't win last night. My issue with the entire Fatal 4-Way is the reality that she shouldn't be eating that pin. She should just be getting distracted by Harley Cameron anyway. So it shouldn't have been her. It's pointless. Now she's going to have to feud with Harley Cameron, and no thank you. Because that doesn't actually do them any favors.
I'm going to tell you something right now, Reese. Her feuding with Harley Cameron, I promise you, I 100% promise you, her feuding with Harley Cameron is exactly what Deonna Purrazzo needs to be tethered to right now. Harley Cameron is the hottest female talent not named Toni Storm. And that's the bottom line. Whether anybody wants to agree with it or not, Harley Cameron right now, today, sitting here, I'll die on this hill. She is the hottest female superstar that's not named Toni Storm. She hadn't won matches yet, but damn, she maximizes. Sometimes I think she's proven you don't have to win every single match to be over. She's over like Rover. So it's okay, Reece. Deonna Purrazzo feuding with Harley Cameron will help Deonna Purrazzo.
Well, it would help her. It would help her if Tony Khan knew how to book it right, because he hasn't done that once. But we will absolutely find out. So there's an
just won that match. I'm telling you, life would have been good.
It doesn't actually bother me she didn't win the match. It's just the way that the match ended. I would have done it differently. That would have been better. She should have just been distracted. She should have just been distracted.
Yeah, but I would have actually had Queen Aminata win that match. I got to say that match right there, I'm a little bit skeptical on it.
I think she's too. I don't know if she's ready yet for a main roster title match. Personally, I think she's decent though. Oh, they ruled that off. Oh, she's
already done one. So
these are still getting beat.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I think that was quite poor. Yeah.
I think Queen Aminata fits better in ROH anyway. Let her go after Red Velvet or Athena in ROH.
I think Queen Aminata deserves to beat Athena more than Billy Starks does. She doesn't deserve any other title opportunities. So we've all agreed this is a good match. I'm skipping the video package for Ospreay and Omega. We don't need to rehash that. That was good.
No, Catherine needs to rehash it though.
Catherine rehashes it on her phone because she may have bookmarked that clip on her Twitter account.
Yeah,
that's there's a specific word. Absolutely, MJF would definitely watch this one. I know I would for different reasons, but absolutely. Next match we've got is actually one that didn't even need to be here, but it's great to see him anyway. Kazuchika Okada versus a local competitor. I'm just kidding. Okada versus Commander.
Are you kidding me? That match was fire.
It's not that it was great or it was fire or whatever. This was just a filler, but it wasn't even like.
I'll take that filler though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was a comprehensive match. Okada came out of this thing looking like better than he came into it. Commander came out of this thing looking better than he went in. Because what's the chief complaint about Okada?
They're not going to do anything with either or after this. That's the only annoying thing.
No. Let's not run away from this real quick. What is the chief complaint about Okada? Basically, all Japanese wrestlers. They're chop merchants.
It's not just that, but also they don't know how to understand the basics of a North American crowd, which is fundamentally incorrect.
No, they understand it perfectly. They just know they can get away with being chop merchants because North American crowds go, ooh, chops. So this match right here, he was not a chop merchant. He actually got in there and worked. You know, same thing with the match coming up with Takeshita. They got in there and they mixed it up really good. They weren't chop merchants. They actually wrestled damn near close to a New Japan style, and Okada got to say, hey, I can do this stuff, but all you guys cheer for is the chop shit. So
I think people are just worried about Okada. Not in a bad way. I think they're just worried that Okada cannot physically do as much anymore because of the style in Japan is bore his body down. Which, to be fair, we've already seen it with Naito.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a major negative on Okada, but he's done well to an extent since he's been over here. It's just a manner of how you go about it. But I think when you look at this one in general, at least it's not a heavy opponent that's slow. I just think
It was good filler. It was good filler. I mean, it was filler. Yeah. Yes, I'll give you that it's filler.
It is.
But do you want Okada and Commander, or do you want Pretty Zesty and DIY as a filler
match? I want sleep. But what my point is, and this is the only issue I've got with it. Okada with luchadors, to an extent, every time I've seen him work with a luchador, it hasn't particularly worked out, because it's immediately straight back in from move to move. Okada, to an extent, likes to let a move breathe. Commander doesn't. So their styles didn't really blend as much as I'd hoped. But by the time they got, at least we got to see a bit of enjoyment.
Right.
But Okada with luchadors just doesn't work. It just doesn't. But it was
good filler. It was good filler. What do you think, Catherine? Are you in love with Okada too?
I love me some Okada.
He's my favorite wrestler. That's how harsh it is for me to say about him.
I love Okada. Women like men with long legs. I just had to say that for you.
Well, he's Japanese, so at least we know one of his legs probably ain't that long, so you're okay.
Catherine's now on mute for 10 seconds.
You got muted. Oh my goodness gracious.
That's how you win a battle.
Well, you're the
host.
I
was even going to be nice and be like, congratulations, Reece, your team won. Good game. I mean, we kind of hung in there with y'all.
No, so who won, by the way? Because I'm not even watching football.
Oh, it was soccer.
Yeah, I know. Same thing, football.
Oh, Eagles are up 14-6 right now.
That's not a shocker.
Eagles
but, no, I like the match. I like the match.
It was actually the thing is
the match itself was pretty good.
Yeah. It's good for speed. It's just maybe it just wasn't as needed. I would have done maybe something slightly different, but at least you got to see Commander on AEW television again instead of just being Ring of Honor.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the
I think Commander might move a little too quickly for Okada.
It's the lack of breathing between his high angle moves. Like, I think that's the only thing. And I think maybe this is the trick that they need to establish a little bit in AEW. And I think this is the only thing. I'm not going to go over the top like other accounts do when they absolutely slander their matches. I think that's harsh in that way. Same as like a WWE style. They have their style, but they will allow some moves to go straight into a quick one straight after.
Right.
I think personally, if you're doing springboard type moves, or you're doing multiple diving moves in a variety, see if you could just give it like 10-15 seconds. Like you've done like the running off the ropes, and he does that flip he does off the ropes when he runs the ropes, or he does a springboard moonsault. Just give it 10-15 seconds so the talent can actually sell the move instead of Commander going, I've done that, now I need to go back and do the other one. I think that's my only shot with luchadors, even though I love watching luchadors wrestle.
Yeah, I think the match time they gave him was what? How many minutes did that thing have in it? Is there a Bleacher Report for it? It felt like it was less than 10.
I did try to find that. I don't know how long.
Because Commander's got 3 move sets he likes to get in during every single match, and I think that's part and parcel of what you were running into. He's like, I got to get my shit in, but it's time constraints. Whereas Okada was just like, I'm getting paid. I don't give a damn. Get your shit in, you know? So,
exactly. Whereas, in a nutshell, he doesn't need to do that. That's what makes it special. He doesn't have to get all this stuff in because you want the suspense of your style. Still work it smartly, but not have to rush yourself. And I think that match got about 10 minutes or so, 10-12 minutes.
It felt like 10 minutes. It felt like it. I wouldn't clock watching or anything like that, because when it gets to that show, I don't clock watch because, I mean, with WWE, I clock watch because I want to see how much wrestling they're going to manage to cram into that busy schedule they got in 3 hours. You know, they only got 3 hours to work with in 4 matches. I want to see how they cram all that time into those 3 hours. It's not easy. But with AEW, you've got a solid set schedule, you got a solid set match format, the whole 9 yards. So it just felt like to me that they were basically like, we only got 11 minutes, and I got at least 8.5 minutes of my shit to get in. And Okada was like, "Hey, go ahead, get your shit in,"
Yeah. Whereas I think as a veteran, he should say, "This is what you're going to get in, and this is how we're going to work it, and then we're going to settle it like this."
Yeah.
That's why the best match on the card was the tag match, because it actually allowed breathing the whole way through and still allowed talent to work. But it was fun. Following this match as well, we got the parking lot segment, which was fucking brilliant. Don't have to say much on that except that it was brilliant. Hobbs and Big Bill together makes perfect sense.
A lot of testosterone in that fight. I loved it.
Somebody said Hobbs broke his nose.
He did.
Yeah,
he broke his nose.
Yeah, that thing is broke. I'm saying this now because I'm overruling everyone on this. I am not reviewing this Big Boom segment. Get these cunts gone. They're crap. Him and his son, send them back wherever they came from. I do not want to see them on TV in any promotion, so I'm skipping it. But I'm absolutely jumping on to Undisputed Kingdom versus 3 local competitors.
Now, this was filler.
This was a filler, but
yeah.
What did you think of it? I was not sure about this. Fuck knows, honestly. Like they're weirdos. Big Bill is going to be Sid Vicious 2.0.
I wouldn't be upset with that.
No, Big Bill is going to be Sid Vicious 1.3. I will give it 1.3, not 2.0. He's not a revision of Sid Vicious.
No one could be like Sid anyway. It's impossible.
Oh, no. That's not a bad comparison if they do it correctly. It's not a bad comparison, but instead of being a different version of him, he's him just without the actual wackadoodle shit that Sid Vicious used to do.
They suck.
Yeah, Sid Vicious perfected the face looks and all that. He perfected that. The man actually stood in front of a mirror and worked on it for 3-4 hours a day. Perfected it. That's where Bill is missing it. He's got the style, but he doesn't have the persona. But his style can be like Sid Vicious 1.3. I wouldn't make him 2.0 because he's just a different without the facial expressions and the nut job thing behind it. But yeah, no, that's not a bad comparison. The Boom people, by the way, that he hates and I don't particularly like, but I understand why they're there. They're just another personality like Santi Zap is for WWE, or this dude that was apparently in First Class. When those are always the most almost said it. Those are almost the dumbest segments I ever see, with Triple H talking to some 1.3 million dudes sitting in first class and leather seats on an airport. And this motherfucker acts like he's shocked that WWE is actually going to invite him and his 1.3 million viewers to their show. Same thing with Boom, though. Boom is just kind of a family, wholesome group that has as many followers as the dude they're flying in for Royal Rumble this weekend. Yeah, and they actually pulled, and the reason they're still on the show is because their very first segment pulled 12 million views. If their very first segment hadn't have pulled 12 million views, they wouldn't be on the show. Tony Khan sees what I see. Do I like them? No. Are they idiotic? Yes. Are they drawing eyes to the product? Yes. So I'm tolerating this ignorance. I'm tolerating it because I want the eyes on the product. But this shit needs to get packed up sooner rather than later, because the 5 big booms, really, that just about killed the whole. You get into that situation where you're coming home from a date, you're both worked up, you're thinking, okay, this is how it's going to end tonight, and blah, blah, blah. And then you say something stupid right in the middle of it, and it just fucks the whole night up. That's what they are to this show.
I'll say it nicely for everybody because it's the right way to put it. They're just cockwombles.
Yeah, because describing the end of a date and cockwomble, yeah, that's totally. No, I agree with you. I understand why they're there, and I understand what their presence is there for. I just think he could probably get the same ROI out of something that's a little bit more edgy than what.
I'm gonna say this now, dude. I think Wardlow's finished.
Wardlow's going to retire. He's done.
It's not just that. People bought out Wardlow a long time ago. When MJF ruined him, that was it. You can't
he's physically incapable of coming back. I think is what the problem is. I think he's physically incapable. I think he hurt himself so bad that he won't be back. And I got roughly about 20 more minutes here, so.
That's up.
So we got 2 questions and a match to review here. So first of all, it was a filler 6-man tag. It was the wrong opponents, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But it did raise one further question that we have asked for the past couple of AEW shows. One, what is going on with Matt Taven and Mike Bennett? Like, just purely, they're just gone. 2, what is Kyle O'Reilly's relationship to this group now? Is he part of them, or is he with the Muggle Squad? Sorry, the conglomeration. But
they're
also
conglomerating, undisputedly.
This match was either a build for just because it's homecoming, you've got 6 talents in there to build on. Is this what you want? Or is this match purely you've now got 3 different opponents for Daniel Garcia, the weakling, who's your TNT champion? Because I'm not sure. I thought the match wasn't particularly special. It was nice to see Cool and Ange there, though, to be fair, returning after a long paternity gap. That's okay. Matt Menard, again, Jesus Christ. Like, honest to God, either I don't know if he was shouting, screaming, or he was pretending he was a woman in bed. Whatever he was doing, it was too zesty. It was just so wrong. I didn't like it. The screaming, the shouting every single time was way off. He was way off the pace, just because he hasn't had any matches. This was bad. This was bad. It should have been Undisputed Kingdom versus Shane Taylor Promotions, because they've actually been following up on Ring of Honor, but they haven't done it.
Well, for this one right here, I'm giving them a mulligan on it because when I did the research on it, and plus everybody stuck it in my face all day yesterday, apparently the Daniel Garcia thing, that was 3 of the originals. And they were basically trying to get originals on the homecoming show more than anything in the world. So I gave it a mulligan and I watched it and I'm like, it's okay. But as far as where Bennett and all them are, Bennett's out discovering himself right now. That's where Bennett's at. I can't speak for Taven, but I've been following Bennett pretty closely ever since he got this enlightenment kick he's on. And I got a feeling that what's going on.
I think that and the fact that Maria's been having health issues, I think he's been with her.
I think he's been with her pretty steady. I did
with
see
her
a
being
video.
Sick, somebody got to take care of them kids.
Yeah,
I think he's I think he'll step away. I think he's I can see him stepping away from wrestling soon.
But I mean, the whole thing of it is, I just saw a video with them not too long ago today where they were having fun at the trampoline park, and so hopefully that's a sign of good times to come. But I'm not hard on Mike Bennett being away right now because if it was my wife and this is just wrestling, guys. At the end of the day, this is just wrestling.
Oh yeah, I've got no issue with that. It's just the way they're saying it. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to say, "Well, what's establishment?" Matt Taven, however, he's not been seen for ages. I don't think they've got anything for him. Matt Taven, he hasn't done anything remotely interesting for a long time, and I'm a big Matt Taven fan.
You don't have to do anything interesting. He can just stand there and look pretty. That's all I need him to do is stand around the ring and look pretty.
Yeah, but we're not trying to sleep with him, Catherine. We actually would like to see some
either.
action,
I just need him to stand there and look pretty.
Every time Catherine gets a shutdown out, I'm just going to put this on. Followed by this. She is horny. Right in the mat.
So yeah.
That's true.
Anyway,
Well, it is a concern. Taven, I know you get the point, but Taven can wrestle, and he's literally done fuck all for a long time. It's a problem. It can be easily addressed if they make the effort, but we'll see. Oh, I disagree with that.
Yeah, I would disagree with that one too. I think Matt Taven's not a bad champion. I think it's a lot of this stuff is not necessarily the bad worker, it's bad presentation. And I give a lot of mulligans out to the talent based on what organization they work for. Like if they work for WWE, I automatically give them a mulligan. Like when Liv got the title, I gave her a mulligan for that whole run because she didn't need it. She just happened to be the flavor of the month that the fans were simping over. So they put the title on her. She's not capable of carrying it. And, you know, if that gets me canceled, so be it. I don't give a shit. She's not capable of carrying any title. She's capable of being eye candy and dumb food. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's all she's good for. She's good for being that dumb bimbo blonde. And Liv, I don't give a damn how that sounds either. It's just the truth. It's your presentation. Don't like it, go to management. That's exactly how I feel about it.
She's pure dreadful. She is pure dreadful. Either way, poor match, wrong order. It's either to get the Undisputed Kingdom versus...
We're going to have the Undisputed Conglomeration before it's over with, and you know it.
Absolutely. Fair comment. Taven was champ during the beginning of the lower point ring. True. But then again, that wasn't all down to him, though. But that is a fact, though. I do agree. Mariah May, the worst AEW champ. Currently.
We're about to fix that in a couple of weeks, so everybody just relax. Everything's about to get righted again.
We certainly hope so. Speaking of waste of times, though, or worse things going, you want to hazard a guess what the next segment was?
The 4-way match?
No, I said segment.
Oh.
The segment. Jog my memory, because I had 2 shows going at once, but I had to cover both of them, so I'm getting lost in the sauce here a little bit.
The self-proclaimed best wrestler in the world.
Oh, Shitcaster? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why we don't remember, because we wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I actively mute him in my head, even when I'm doing the watch-along shows. When he shows up, I'm just like, okay,
when he shows up, Matthew begins to answer questions in the chat.
Exactly. When he's there, that's when I start answering chat questions, because I'm just like, I'm not giving this guy oxygen. I'm not giving him oxygen. The only reason that I hope that they're running this thing is so that he gets his ass pinned every single time. Like
that's funnily enough. That's funnily enough what WrestleZone have said. So you guys are gonna laugh at this. So the Undisputed Kingdom versus the Three Stooges, that was rated a grade B plus. Ugh. Max Caster's the title for Max Caster's segment was called Max Caster Wastes Our Time. And it literally says, we hear from Max Caster whining backstage about Bones and Gunn walking out on him, trying to get sympathy, but nobody gives a shit. And then he says he wants to get an open challenge to prove he's the best wrestler in the world. And the last line, ironically, is, as long as it involves him getting squashed every week, I'm all for it. Absolutely. If he gets squashed by everybody, I'll celebrate.
That's the whole thing of it. That's the only way this segment's going to work for me. Tony, I know you probably are listening, because I don't know why, but you probably are. If you book Max Caster to win one match, I don't even give a damn if it's local talent. He should lose to those 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
He should lose to jobbers. He should get fruit rolled up by jobbers all damn day long.
I'm scared though.
I mean, he's the worst. He's the worst incarnation of himself that he's ever been.
Mm-hmm. Massive. The mittest wrestler alive. Love it.
I saw him in an indie show. I saw him in an indie house show. Like they had it up on Triller, and I was like, oh, there's Max Caster. He would get in there and he started opening his mouth, and the indie crowd was just sitting there going, shut the fuck up. Like that was their chant the whole time he was trying to get a promo off. Nobody wants this guy.
He's really not good, and the problem with it is, it's not that people.
I've got the perfect job for Max Caster. He can go back to Sirius XM and be a producer for Busted Open. because he used to
That
work
might actually be an
like
improvement
him.
on the show. That might actually be an improvement on the show.
Fernando says Max versus Orange Cassidy in a loser leaves wrestling match. Well, you know what I would do? I would call a double disqualification.
And they both be gone.
Exactly. If you could do a double disqualification, I'd be good with that, and both of them be the hell out of there right now. Bye. See ya. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
But you know how I said there that I'm a little bit worried about Max Caster being in these open challenge matches? I do have one concern. And this is actually this is an indictment of wrestling. If he is booked constantly to lose in these matches, it's going to get him over in the worst way. It'll get him over in a sympathy version, and it'll want fans to see him get a big win.
Either that or it'll make him Gilbert.
That would be funny. Casterberg.
Casterberg, that's exactly what I'm going to start calling him too. I've got it planned out. I've got the whole thing planned out.
We need to start hashtagging that on X.
Well, I want the fucking credit for that. Casterberg.
Casterberg, yeah. No, I'm just saying make him the Gilbert.
Absolutely.
Shave his head. Seriously, I'm not bullshitting. Shave his head. Make him look like a knockoff of Bobby Lashley.
Oh.
But this would not be bad if he was a decent wrestler in the ring. He's not.
Yeah. He doesn't compare.
He's not good on the mic. His reps are
abusive.
So bad. His reps are so bad that they're funny. That's how bad they are.
His raps are so good that I want to order one for food.
Mm-hmm.
No,
even though I've got food beside me, but hey.
Yeah, when I say that completely. I say that completely from an F. Ross Johnson standpoint, and I'm pretty sure Catherine knows where I'm going with this if she's been around North Carolina in that area long enough.
Jesus Christ.
F. Ross Johnson used to say you never send a nickel out unless it comes back dressed up like a quarter. And the only way you can send a nickel out with Max Caster is to give him the Gilbert thing. If you give him the Gilbert thing and he gets his ass whooped all the time, I'm talking about seriously. Dress him up like Bobby Lashley, oil him down the whole 9 yards, shave his head, have him do the Gilbert thing and lose. You will make money with that. And it will that's actually where Max Caster could get over as a wrestler, because everybody remembers Gilbert. As soon as I said Gilbert, you're like, ugh. Gilbert never won a fucking match. Yeah,
there is one other thing though, and this is a reality point. Maria's actually spot on.
I
hope so as well. I hope this as well.
We're getting ready to have WWE in the middle of this football field.
Oh Lord, make it stop. Anyway. Moving along, Max Caster sucks. Next segment.
We were talking about Nick Wayne needed a mask. Max Caster needs a mask.
No, shave his head bald, lather him down in baby oil, and have him look like a knockoff version of Bobby Lashley and lose all his matches. No, just lose all his matches. Just slather him down. Seriously. Well, you call it whatever you want, but I'm trying to avoid that too. I'm trying to avoid the Diddy references as well.
No, it's because you said put him in baby oil. I was like, Jesus, I see. Dare says, I see him trying to cheat to win, then he calls him Max Blaster Caster. I've got it.
You see who? You see who?
This should be Max Caster's new name. I've got it. I'm going to get in so much trouble for this.
You can call him the Jizzler and get it over with, just go ahead.
Gonna have a match between him and the Rizzler?
Blaster Casterberg. That would be fucking hilarious right there.
Now that needs to get trending.
Hashtag Blaster Casterberg.
Hey, shoot that to my DMs. I'll start floating that shit as soon as I get done with my date tonight. Seriously, that's hilarious.
I'm taking full credit for this. That was my genius.
And just pictures of Max Caster with hashtag that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Blaster Casterberg. See, everyone gets it. Next segment is Top Flight and Layla Gray with Lexi Nair. Lexi Nair.
They can skip all that.
Yep. The only positive about this is they called out Leo Rush. Leo Rush will just eviscerate them. We then get Mariah May and Toni Storm meet face to face. I told you, Mariah May will smack her one, then she'll remember straight away. That's exactly what I said last week.
This whole segment is another example of why AEW is in the dumpster.
Okay, here we go. That's a shocker. Go on.
I'm going to be your typical IWC.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The new Sexton Hardcastle. There you go.
For fuck's sake, Dared. Fuck's sake. But yeah, go on. So the AEW are in the dumpster, as you say. Go on then.
Because Timeless Toni Storm is your hottest star, especially in your women's division, if not in the company. And instead of doing this on your A show, you do it on Collision.
No, and I got something.
So Tony Khan is clueless. He doesn't know what he was doing.
Fair point.
That's your IWC. So I'm going to counter that with you bitch about Collision sucking. They do something great on Collision to make you want to watch Collision.
Yes. And then you still break.
But that's not the show it should be on.
Now, yeah. I will go one step further, and I think Reece probably alluded to this before. I do believe that AEW shot their load too early.
Oh, yeah.
I believe they shot their load too early, but I believe they didn't have a choice on it. I would have done this in a segment, in a 0-hour segment, so to speak, for Grand Slam. I would have done this, and I don't know if you said this or not, but this has been on my mind all day. Because if I'm going to be constructive about this, first of all, Toni Storm proves once again, in a series of once agains, that she's not just the best character worker in that company. She's the best character worker doing it right now. And I struggled to try to come up with something comparable to it. And I did this since last night. I did it when I woke up this morning. I tried to find something as comparable to this line as I could. And it doesn't exist in my mind, in history.
Yeah.
And I've watched a lot of wrestling. I've been watching wrestling since 74. I've got a bank full of matches. And I cannot for the life of me find a better character worker anywhere. Male, female, straight, gay, don't care.
I think there's only 4. If you're being specific, I think there's only maybe 4 that I can think off the top of my head. Like flat out just character work. I think it's just 4. For me, just being honest, number 1 easy is Jake Roberts. Easy. Number 2, Foley. Foley is hard to. The guy just gets it. I would say. I think I would have to say Taker as well. Like his character is for a reason. The longevity, the evolution, the mix-up, and then I would have to say after that maybe Steve Austin. I mean,
but here's
maybe even though I absolutely hate him, depends. Maybe you could remove Steve Austin. You could put in Hulk. You could put in Hulk Hogan. I hate the guy, but it's hard to really dissociate from character work. But it's true.
Here's the kick to it.
I would say Foley is a benchmark for character comparison or Taker.
But none of them have done this on the fly, and none of them have done this right in front of your face and pivoted like she pivoted last night in front. They haven't done it. They haven't done it. I went back and watched just to see.
Foley did once.
You're right. He did have that one thing where he started putting his sock on or something. He had one segment where he did that and he pivoted.
No, not that. It was the Raw episode 98 after Over the Edge when he got the rematch with Steve Austin when it was building up to King of the Ring. On Raw, he got fired by Vince McMahon, like Dude Love got fired, like the character. and he literally on the fly morphed into Mankind, and then he attacked the Undertaker in the main event. Like,
yeah, I hadn't thought about that one, so I'll give you Mick Foley. I'll give you Mick Foley, but the rest of those guys, none of them ever did what she did.
Maybe not like that, but I do get what you mean. But they are probably the echelons of benchmark for creative. To put in that context is hard.
Even with that, even with what you're saying right now, he wasn't masquerading as Mankind right in front of your face. He wasn't the guy that you like, no, wait a minute, this guy's Mankind, blah, blah, blah. You know,
he was doing Dude Love.
You were watching Toni Storm do this rookie character, knowing that she's timeless Toni Storm. She still had little nuances during the character to let you know that she knew she was timeless Toni Storm, but she still got the rookie angle over.
Yeah.
In the middle of you knowing that she's going to come out. I just think they shot their load too early on this. I really do. I think if Toni could have held it until February for Grand Slam, a pre-show, or even an opening segment, for Grand Slam, if they had like a pre-segment or something like that, like during the show itself, that would have been way more. And not to mention the drones would have really fried. They only half fried last night. I was kind of disappointed. Their effort just wasn't there.
Yeah, I guess I think the manner of it was difficult, and they really had to do it. I said to you point blank last week, they were going to end it early. I said it to you last week, it was not going to go the full year.
Yeah, no, it wasn't going to go the full year. I mean, we knew going into Grand Slam they were going to rip that title back. They were going to claw it back because Mariah May is a good chaser, but she doesn't give me winner vibes anymore. I don't get winner vibes out of her.
She's too busy. She's too busy talking about a division that starts behind her and all that shit, and she's busy playing with her chest. And I'm like, that's not a champion.
It's not even that. It's just that whole there's this division and then there's me thing. It just kind of shits on the women, and it adds more credibility every time WWE says we have the best women's division in the world, and then Mariah May gets on there and says I'm the best and everybody else sucks. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, so it takes away, and I do agree with Maria. The reveal should have been saved for the title match. Like, I would have done the exact same manner of it. One vicious blow reawakens the whole thing, and she just goes timeless. But
exactly.
we're not getting that. We're not getting that at all. So, but the promo itself was incredible. Like, I like the one line that really sums up is that they say the hardest role you'll ever play is yourself. That is a phenomenal line. Doesn't matter what company you're in.
Right.
You give that woman flowers. If somebody else done that in a different company, same gimmick, I would give them their flowers as well, because that is craftsmanship at its best. So congratulations to her. Like, that was phenomenal, and I like just the evisceration of word choice. Like, I did find one of the lines a little bit, maybe a bit too far-fetched, saying it came from her womb and all that. I think that maybe, I don't think they needed that bit of the promo. I think that was just a bit too weird.
No, that made sense to me.
I don't think it's relevant in that way. But then she goes straight to "I'm going to rip your tits off." That's more relevant. That's more relevant to the Toni Storm character, not the womb. Nothing like that. That's just, for me, that's just odd. Toni Storm.
Well, I get where she was coming from with that statement, because she treated Mariah like Mariah was her own child. Like, she gave birth to Mariah.
Yeah.
In a way, she could have just said, like, I brought you into this company. She could have done it like that. I brought you into this company instead of I brought you into this world. Like, all that nonsense.
But there's nothing flowery about that. But let me jump in real quick, because I gotta dip. I gotta go do my date. So I will catch y'all on the next show. I should be better by next show anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump out. I will holler at y'all later on. How about that?
Absolutely.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Keep it real. I'll still be listening, but it is what it is.
I appreciate it. 3 hours is still worthy, so thanking you, sir.
Yeah, 3 hours is a lot of work. So y'all go ahead, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Okay.
Catch you later.
Bye, Matt.
Hey. Bye, Catherine.
To be fair, when you look at it, we're doing 3 reviews in one. It's a reality base, folks. Brody King, Buddy Matthews, the Hounds of Hell versus Gates of Agony. This match was, simply put, this was fantastic.
Their presentation was awesome.
I like the presentation. I like the choice of words. I like the fact they've completely disassociated themselves from the House of Black. In that way, they're continuing that echelon. That's very smart character work. Good tag team to go up against the Gates of Agony. Again, there was no sloppiness. It was letting moves breathe. It was letting both sides get their moves in the right way, but it was also letting them hang into what it means to be a tag team. And I like that as well. That really, really stood out for me.
Well, we were talking about how like SmackDown doesn't really have any tag teams to elevate their tag team titles. AEW's got tag teams, but they just like don't care about their titles. I'm wanting to see, with the Hurt Syndicate winning the titles on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to see them either go up against Gates of Agony or go up against the, what are they called? Hellhounds? Hounds of Hell. Yeah. And go up against them.
I think WWE does actually have some decent tag teams. They just don't buy in. Like Machine Guns absolutely is the team to actually build everything around. They're just not doing it. Yeah, they're buried. But also, Private Party didn't do themselves any favors as well. I think their promo work really wasn't holding strong, and I think that's what's cost them. Shame, really. It was dominant.
I think Private Party's better as a heel tag team instead of a face tag team.
Absolutely. Good showing, good match, good work. Not much else really to say about that except get them pushing high. Another big boom segment, skipping it, don't care. Thunder Rosa and Penelope Ford. This was good.
Skip it.
I know you don't like Thunder Rosa. I'm just saying this was good. At least they're building a program between these two. I'm happy with that.
I do like Penelope Ford, though.
Yeah, she is good. Now got the Fatal 4-Way. I've already established. I was a little bit disappointed that Deonna took the pin. What I would have done is Harley Cameron just distracts Deonna. Deonna leaves the ring. And then Yuka pins either Amanat or Serena Deeb. I think that would have been so much better.
And then have Deonna turn around like, oh, fuck, I just screwed this up and lost the match for myself.
And that gives her more purpose to go after Harley Cameron. It was really embarrassing. That's fair. Plus, Private Party got the belts. Exactly. And yes, she does. Overall, still a decent match, though. But this comment here is genuinely important. Well, this entire paragraph to sum up this match. This is from WrestleZone. I enjoyed the match and overall thought it was good, but seriously, what is AEW doing with Deonna Purrazzo? She's literally one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet and they aren't utilising her properly. I really don't get what the company's doing by her entire right now. This is something they need to correct sooner rather than later, which I agree with. Please do something with Deonna that's actually benefiting them and as a whole. Strength to strength. I haven't got a fucking clue what they're doing for her right now. Like, they've got her in a group, but they're making no effort to put her where she be. Like, she should be one of your champions. She was an ace of the knockouts, for fuck's sake. She's one of the best women's wrestlers, and she's being treated like a nobody. It's frustrating. We got a backstage segment between Buddy Matthews and Okada. Looks
I like
Matthews. Yeah, could well be that Matthews is the next challenger. Quite like that. That was a good tease. We then go commercial break. We come back. Big Bill's in the
ring. I like the part of
off.
that promo with Buddy Matthews and Okada, where Okada goes, "I'm no bitch."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even though she's in school, in that case, like, it's just they're just not using her right. They need to do better with her. They do need to. We come back from commercial break. Big Bill's in the ring. Calls it well. He says, Powerhouse Hobbs needs to get in the ring. Let's finish this. Again, violent, over the top. In that circumstance, it was done well. 2 low blows. I don't think he needed 2 of them, but 1 of them into the belly would be enough. But again, the violence segment, very well done, well produced. We then get a great segment, vignette from the Callis family. To answer the question, Fletch, if you're still here, 5th man, who I think is going to be in the Callis family, my 5th man. I don't think it's Okada. For me, I would make...
What about Kota Ibushi?
No, it doesn't make sense.
It would make good sense.
No, because he's not an enemy of Omega. And he can't go anymore.
He could turn him against Omega.
He can't go anymore anyway. Kota's not physically capable of going anywhere.
Let me throw a name out there and tell me, what do you think? Ricochet.
That's someone I was thinking of. Well, him and another one that Matt's actually mentioned, Big Bill. I think, weirdly enough, you can do Ricochet, Big Bill, or you go a little step further and you recruit Pac.
What if it's somebody we don't even think of, a new signing? And I'm gonna throw this name out there. What about Michael Okura from Rev Pro?
He's under contract though, so I don't think so. He's under contract. They could bring him in for it, but I don't know. Mike Bailey is not going to. I don't think he's going to AEW. Apparently, they stupidly passed on him for some reason. Plus, he's a babyface. He wouldn't work as a heel. He's too light.
I think Bailey might just work the indies. That way he can schedule when he wants to. Especially with his wife doing commentary on a lot of the indie shows, so.
That's true. I don't think it's Oku, but that's a great mention. I think Pac would be the wiser choice. He's got experience with both of them, and he's beaten both of them. He's also lost to both of them in controversial fashion. I know, he's an idiot. Speedball is genuinely a generational talent. More generational than fucking MJF. It'd be so funny if it's Paul White. Because he is rumoured to be coming back soon. That would be funny.
That would be funny. It would also be a slap in the face to the fans.
I wouldn't mind if it's Powerhouse Hobbs, though. Even though he did walk away from him, it could be a swerve.
Yeah. But I did like the segment. I did like the vignette.
Same. I thought it was well done. And then the main event was just brutal.
Well, I had seen somebody say maybe Mark Davis.
Potentially. Maria straight away going, it's a swerve. Yeah. The crazy thing is, it could be a great swerve.
What if it's swerve?
Potentially. Big Bill or Powerhouse Hobbs would be what a way to go, though. Because that means you're pretty much, your faction now is literally 2 fast-moving talents plus 3 absolute machines that are bigger guys that would really open you up to a lot. It would be clever. Mark Davies, that's another swerve, to be honest. Where you think he's loyal to Will Ospreay, not Fletcher after what happened last time, but actually he is on that. He just took the beating to sell it. just to slip Ospreay in. It's potential.
Just to get Ospreay to trust him.
It definitely won't be Shibata anyway. That's for sure. Which, speaking of which, very good main event. Length of time, you got about 18 minutes, including commercials. I think they ended it strongly, but I'm thinking, did it have to be Shibata for this one? I'm not sure, but in reality, at least we got to see Takeshita defend his championship, which he hasn't done on AEW TV once, which is quite embarrassing. It would be a massive swerve. Collision I actually enjoyed more than Dynamite. I'm saying this even though I did like Dynamite. I preferred Collision. Last week I preferred Dynamite to Collision because I think the flow was better on that show than this week. This week it was the opposite. So I will say that. I'm always honest. What about yourself, Catherine?
I like Dynamite better, but compared Collision to last week's Collision, this one was much better.
Maria's saying Takeshita versus Okada. See, this is what I want. I want title versus title.
I think we're going to get Takeshita versus Okada. I don't know when, though.
Because the Continental Classic title needs to be dropped. It needs to just be unified with the international title. Make your own championship. And then just have the Continental Classic be the winner of that tournament gets the World's End World title match. That's all it should be for now, in my opinion. And then last but not least, 3 hours, 11 minutes in. Fernando says Dynamite was better. Maria says Collision was better. Okay, so we have 4 matches and a Rumble contract signing. So let's do this one. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. That was fast as fuck.
It was better. I thought this match was better than their last match.
The pace,
but like I said, Nia has improved so much since she's come back that I'm actually a fan of hers. Same.
I'll let you keep talking about it. I'm going to kind of quickly take like 2-second break. I'll let you take on.
Oh, thanks, Reece. Hung me out to dry. I did like the fact where I think Nia was trying to get her up for a power bomb or something, and she grabbed her ass. Like, she took a big chunk out of her ass. The only thing is, I don't understand. Nia loses the title on SmackDown, then automatically gets a shot at Rhea title on Raw. That doesn't make any sense. But as many of y'all know, I'm not a fan of women's wrestling, but I actually did enjoy this match. And going in with low expectations for anything WWE, I thought overall the show was not that bad. So chat, tell me what y'all thought about the Nia and Rhea match. Yeah, I think they are moving Nia to Raw now. I haven't heard it officially. I think she's just on loan. But I think Nia might fit better on Raw than she does on SmackDown. But it also depends on where they're going to put Becky and Charlotte when they come back. I have a feeling Charlotte's probably going to go to SmackDown since her husband is on SmackDown. Maria said it was a really solid match. Yeah, for a women's match, it was really solid.
Absolutely. Rhea's just diverse. Like her talent work is very diverse, so she can do the variety. The only criticism I had from this one, even though I thought it was really good, is I didn't like that they're still persistent with every time Nia Jax goes up to the top rope, she needs to get knocked over onto the apron when her knees were surgically repaired. Can we please stop putting Nia in that situation? And just, if she's going to the top rope, just get someone knock her down with a power bomb instead of just floating her over the ropes. It's actually, for me, it's actually quite off-putting. But I like the Samoan drop from the top rope. I like the power bombs, and also I like the fact that she did the Annihilator in reverse when she done it on her spine. I did quite like the commentary from. I will say this: I did like the commentary from Pat McAfee when she just said how she broken her spine. That's actually a very good line. I will grant that. But then obviously
I don't know if this was the spot where she was trying to get Nia up. She had her it looked like she was going to put her in the sharpshooter, but
it was the she was going to put her in the prison lock or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and then Nia just kicked her.
Yeah, to break it.
That kind of looked bad, but that would be like my one nitpick of the. That would be like my one nitpick of that match. Other than that, I think the match was very
Prism
well done.
trap. Prism trap. That's it. I think the problem is with that move is because Nia Jax is so big, and she's as in like stockier compared to us, a taller woman. If that was a Jade Cargill, who is taller, it would have been better in terms of the leg trap because she's not as wide as Nia.
It wouldn't look as floppy.
Yeah, and it's not an insult on Nia Jax that she's stockier, but she is stocker in that way. It's just that you can't get the grip right for the position. It is a modified Texas Cloverleaf, that's right. What a great move. Rhea's keeping that championship belt one for Jordynne Grace when she wins the Rumble. I don't think Jordan's going to win that Rumble. It's too much. I think it will be someone much worse. I'm still persistent in Charlotte Flair. No, so that it's actually a decent match, to be fair. I think overall it's fun, but it does have some elements where it needs to improve. And the improvement is stop making Nia freaking use that turnbuckle spot, because it's actually becoming a problem. Because if she fucks her knees up again, that's on her. But that's on the creator for that. Nia is Vader 2.0. If she does a moonsault, I'm gonna I'll freak. And exactly, it's too soon for Grace. I get there's something about this as well before they got to the match. No one, but why is Jesse Ventura criticizing Governor Abbott? What the fuck? Pointless. That match
because Jesse Ventura is what we call a libertarian / Democrat, and Governor Abbott of Texas is a stark Republican.
Fold into the mid card, probably. Darrell, I don't know. So this match took 12 minutes into the main show to actually start. We get the Braun Breaker versus Sheamus match next, which was 36 minutes into the showing on, if you're watching it on YouTube, Jesse Ventura is on commentary. This was given an A- as well, similar to the Samoa Joe match. This was given an A- by Bleacher Report. Some notable moments from this match. One, the spear from the back on Sheamus. That not the catch spear from the steps, sorry. And the Frankensteiner. That is mental. But again, Braun Breaker is brilliant, but why does Sheamus keep getting these freaking title matches? He is always trying. It's ridiculous. He's a wackadoodle. He's a cockwomble. I've always appreciated Jess Ventura for trying to bring in something important, and that was the Union back in the day. But Hogan sold them out because that's Hogan for you.
Oh, somebody said since Hogan backed out of being on main event, that now would be a good time for Ventura to try to unionize the wrestlers.
That'd be so funny. It would be hilarious. So this match has about 15, 16 minutes, something like that. It does go on for quite a while. But there was some elements where this match did work, but then they just took it away. Like I think one of those spears caused problems for Braun, and I agree. Some sort of concussion or something like that. If he has a concussion, take the title off him. Take it off him. But again, I have a what's the fucking point moment with this one, because what is Sheamus getting another title match for the IC title? He's had so many IC title match chances, it's actually becoming a joke. It's worse than Chad Gable.
Maybe that's the whole storyline. He can't never reach the pinnacle.
Fingers crossed, Maria. I would rather see Chad do it, because at least he's younger, he's much more enjoyable. Sheamus is all good and all that, but still, like, no one wants that now, and he doesn't deserve a Grand Slam. I don't care what anyone says, he doesn't deserve it. Hogan has got Get Off Our Planet heat, and he doesn't deserve any more. Exactly, he doesn't. He doesn't. Would you be surprised?
Needs to finish his story.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I agree, Matthew.
Yeah.
He's going to finish his story at WrestleMania this year.
God, I hope not. We do get the contract signing next. Long story short, Kevin Owens cooked him. And then got super kicked for his trouble. When does Kevin Owens
not cook somebody on the mic?
Exactly. He did get super kicked for his troubles, though. Which makes me wonder that Kevin Owens is going to show up on NXT at some point just to beat the hell out of him.
Good. Maybe if I was WWE, though, I would be marketing those Kevin Owens shirts that says Cody sucks egg.
That shirt was funny. Like that was fucking hilarious. I'll give him that. I'm not sure what the end game is though for this, but
I'm not neither. And my personal opinion is they need to get that belt off of Cody, and I would let KO have it and run with it.
Obviously, due to marketing, they can't have that version of the Winged Eagle as their main title. Give me the pot of gold and leprechauns and say, fucking hell. And Sammy's turning heel. If he does, that's a mastery. But what was I looking for? Because there's something I retweeted last night that'd be very interesting. Let me just quickly find it if I can.
And I think a heel having the title would bring more prestige to the title, because Cody ain't done nothing with the title but still walk around with it and sing whoa, 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 whatever is in his theme song.
Yeah. I saw someone post this last night. Even they made it in the video game, like the WWE 2K24 video game. But I actually think, and I hope, that this is the new title design going forward. Because I actually think it's very smart. I would actually like something like this. It maintains the modernism where you have to have this, but it's not huge. It actually blends into the eagle really well, and then you still maintain the winged eagle design.
I like that.
I think that would be very cool. And to be honest, they should, because people have always liked the Winged Eagle. They've advocated for a long time to come back. So, do it. That shirt was that's right, it was. See, Kevin Owens, generational talent. He thinks he is definitely going to Raw. And it would work. Yeah, new championship belt. I'm hoping it's that design there that I just showed, because that would be great. People would want that. And it's not offensive. The current title design is offensive. It's a mustard guzzler shit title. Kevin Owens eats the sweet chin music after trying the pile driver when Cody hits him with a super kick. We then get...
Wouldn't have Kevin Owens gotten more heat though if he was allowed to do the pile driver on Shawn?
Oh, you would have done, but I think that's why they didn't allow it. I think they've established that maybe he's got too much heat, but I don't know. Brings the old design.
You have too much heat, though. That don't even make sense.
I think you can, realistically, because Larry Zbyszko did after he hit Bruno Sammartino with the chair. He got wild heat. Next match is gruesome in the way of shock. This was MLW to an extent for Jacob Fatu, but he went way overboard with the run hip attacks, which justified that they built this match purely for Strowman to get his heat kicked in. And by all means, he like that blood everywhere.
Broke his nose. I think when Fatu threw that chair at him, I think that chair hit him right in the nose and he broke his nose.
Yeah, and they just fed on that. He was a blooded mess. It was wild.
And they didn't cover up the blood, which I was shocked.
Yeah. Jacob Fatu is special. They have to continue with that. They have to continue with him to an extent. The guy's he's insane. He's worthy of any opportunity he gets. It has officially begun, yeah. And he always blends his style. I like that. But it's madness. But that's just a recollection of how good he is. And then we get the main event. Yeah, Strowman going after Fatu at the Rumble, leading the media. Exactly. So the main event is Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Championship. They try going chop for chop. Jey Uso obviously loses that one. Jey Uso gets a spear as well on Gunther for a 2 count, then goes for another spear, hits the splash, gets another 2 count, and then Gunther goes, fuck this, and he beats him with 2 power bombs in a row. I will say one thing though. Jey Uso actually dropped an impressive set of power bomb on Gunther. I'll grant him that. But this match was just inevitable. We knew it was coming. And exactly, he is mid-card Jey Uso. Fatu's winning the Money in the Bank. I wouldn't be against that, Maria. Especially with that moonsault he's got. That thing can win you titles. Violent match to an extent before that. This one was just, we'll let it see what it goes. But this was purely, as Catherine said at the start of the show, this was purely getting to the Royal Rumble overlooking Saturday night's main event. When in reality, Saturday night's main event should have been last week. And it would have helped. Fatu in the bank.
They did do a good job of making you think that Jey Uso was going to win this match on several occasions.
Yeah, multiple spears, the splashes. I'm sick of the over-the-top constant use of the fucking super kick though. Like, overkill is annoying. Like, I'm actually sick of it.
But you know the Young Bucks are the only ones that use the super kicks excessively.
Nah, Nick Nemeth. Don't disgruntle the blonde man. Come on. I think the problem is with all that is like the super kick used to mean something. Now everybody bloody uses it, and it's just annoying. Whereas at least Nick Nemeth actually uses it to a degree as a finish. Thank God that Yeet Man lost. Exactly. It's weird how WWE sometimes use 8K camera shots for some shots, but not during actual matches. Is a notable moment observation. The second is Gunther being a champion for more than 80% of his run in WWE is one of the most impressive runs anyone's ever had. Okay. And the third one is, it's hard to tell because it was tattoos, but there's no way Jay's chest wasn't red when this was over.
That's true.
Fair. This is a great point, and it kind of sums up SmackDown. No wonder they're going back to 2 hours in June. But it's one thing this show did remind us is that 2 hours seems to be the magic number for a wrestling show. The pace felt good and the action kept us invested. It never overstayed its welcome.
I agree with that.
That's the closing review from Bleacher Report. They gave the show an A-. Gunther's keeping the World Championship belt for Braun Breaker at Mania. I don't think it's this year, but I think Braun Breaker will get it at Mania, 100%. They're going to need a specimen D from Gunther. I would give it to Braun, but it's not going to be. Wouldn't surprise me if it's someone completely out of the blue that nobody expects. just as long as it's not fucking Brock Lesnar. It'll probably be CM Punk. But Catherine, we've went 3 hours 30 minutes. How you feel?
I feel wonderful. Like I said, I went in with the on this, so overall, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I think we've had fun. I think we've done really well. We've been very, very fair, and we've kept all of it to a standard that we all enjoy. Good audience all the way through. Great comments. So thanks to everyone that's watched. Paul needs to get Brock Steiner down. It's gonna happen. Fantastic job in the Triple Review. Thank you. This week we have some show reviews, and next Saturday Royal Rumble preview. I'll have guests for that. Don't you worry. But we are going to kill that next week. So check out the Mid Podcast. Check out Graps TV. And and Kobe on TV as well. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to this video. Check out more content in the weekly Steelchair. We're going to bounce. But I will see you tomorrow for a gaming stream. Tuesday reviewing Raw. And then Wednesday doing the same. Reviews. Wednesday will be a gaming stream, and then Thursday, obviously, I review Dynamite, and then Friday, Ring of Honor and TNA. Saturday, we'll do a little bit of highlights of SmackDown, and then we'll preview Royal Rumble on the same show. So, thank you very much. No thanks, I'm not interested. It's a bloody bot account from Twitch. I'm not interested, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We will see you next time. Stay safe, stay crafty with your work, and do try this at home. Bye-bye.
Definitely.